Black people, what y'all gonna do? Black people, what y'all gonna do? Black people, what y'all gonna do when you wake up and find that you're dead? With maggots and roaches eating the pus out of your prostituted minds and white deathly hands, massaging your hearts with red hot branding irons. They're writing songs of love, but not for me. They're writing songs of love, but not for me. Here we are, the employees of all love, but yet we are working overtime to cover up our loneliness. John Coltrane died in vain, a love supreme. John Coltrane died in vain, a love supreme. Where are the low staccato screams of black unity? John Coltrane died in vain, a love supreme. Where are the higher octaves of righteousness and truth? John Coltrane died in vain, a love supreme. Where are the high registers of peace and love? John Coltrane died in vain. What are black people doing enough of that they shouldn't be doing? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Black people, what y'all gonna do? Black people, what y'all gonna do? I see junkie bitches giving birth to gonorrhea-faced babies that come out nodding to the rhythms of God Bless America. And these same babies grow up to be good-looking corpses that haunt the streets of Harlem, raping syphilitic-minded, roomless black pussies who dream of becoming virgins once again in the hereafter. Stop in the name of love. Stop in the name of love. Stop mugging that old woman. She's been saving her money all year for a trip to the electric circus, but she died the very next day. Oh God! Oh God! God ain't dead. He's down at the family planning office, handing out birth control pills to black women, telling them they're a gift from heaven. Look, there's old Sam the wino, searching for a last sip of ancient sweet love in the empty wine bottles in the gutters of his soul. And the air has become polluted with white lies of love, while love is dying from overdoses of misused Christianity in legitimate insane asylums and legal torture chambers called Watts, Southside, Bed-Stuy, and Huff. Are we the black people who once loved with the slow march of time? Time was ours to hold in the soft, low, warm chambers of our hearts. And was we the afro mommies and daddies of a sun world would turn our strands of hair into antennas to tune in the juju madness and syncopated love rhythms of Africa. And we love with time, and we took the time to love, and with the right time we love, and we love time after time. Will we ever love again? Will we ever love again? Will we really ever love again? Or will we just sit and rot away with the brighter tomorrows in the skag field, rat-cluttered, piston halls of our minds?
Black people, what y'all gonna do? Black people, what y'all gonna do?
Will the real black people please stand up?
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. I'm back again, yo. Shouts out to everybody who do tune in. You know, everybody who do say something. I know it's people that tune in that don't say something. I know it's people that used to tune in and all that. And you know what? It's kind of crazy. If I was more palatable, if I say, "Oh, it's exceptions to the rule," you know, if I suffered from the John Brown complex, I would be more acceptable. You know what I'm saying? But y'all think that I take it too far. But the problem is, I don't take it far enough, to be honest with you. Right? But probably gonna be slaves forever. But anyway, yo. So shouts out to everybody that's out there. And before I get started, um, yo, I want to shout out to this sister here because I be hearing people always had something to say about this sister when she was doing bad. So we're gonna talk about this sister when she doing good. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to the sister Shakari Richardson, winning the race, fastest woman in the world. Crush those Jamaican sisters, you know what I'm saying? You know the rest of the world ain't got no chance. You know? Cause I know everybody always loved to hate on her and all that
American
stuff, you
sprint
know.
sensation and Olympic gold
And I
medalist
can't hear it,
Kerry
so hold
Richardson
on,
has
y'all. I'm
made
gonna have to go out and come back in, but I'm gonna play it.
American sprint sensation and Olympic gold medalist Kerry Richardson has made history at the Stawell Gift, winning the famous race off scratch. It's only the third time in the event's 144-year history a woman has won from the back of the pack. And Trent Neese was there.
It's far from her most famous victory, but winning the Stawell Gift means the world to Kerry Richardson.
I had a great time. Y'all fueled me. Y'all made this moment happen. So thank you.
Her partner and fellow sprinter, Christian Coleman, among the first to congratulate her. The 26-year-old from Texas storming home after starting from scratch. 13.15 seconds her time, and didn't she need all 120 metres to get over the line?
Shaqiri's running her down, running her down. It's so close. She's got up. She's come from the clouds.
With more than 4.3 million followers on Instagram, the hype surrounding Richardson's win at Stawell is a marketing success. The handicap race already making headlines around the world.
I think I realized I was going to run right past 90.
History was made here today at Central Park in Stawell, with Kerry Richardson becoming just the third woman of all time to win off scratch.
Back home, I want to let y'all know this is one of the most exciting, fun, and entertaining track.
Who needs Dove Clinical Plus Care?
Track and field is really starting to take off, as many of the best athletes in the world
Yes, here we go. All right, so check it out. We got Shakari. Richardson said that I'm black before I'm an athlete. So she calls out her fans because she had put up something about Trayvon Martin and the contrast between Kyle Rittenhouse. House of Trayvon Martin. But we're going to dig into it because I feel like, you know, if people was making a stand in public, then we got to stand behind it. We'll be right back on the Keep It Right.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, TZ.
One could have bye party. Oh man, you know what? I was just Afghanistan and Mexico having conference. Bruh. Right. Why they choose to let them people come up? Oh, hold on, I can't do it. But myself away on goddamn what you call that, Star Trek shit. Alright, so let's get content she posted. She simply posted this. Here, I'm gonna blow it up a little bit. She posted this comparison between Kyle Rittenhouse and Trayvon Martin. It says Sha'Carri Richardson has become just known for her outspoken personality, but as she killed it on the track, but she also expressed both on November 20th in the social media post directly at anyone who takes issue with what she shared. Damn right. The 21-year-old track and field sprinter made it clear to followers that she is a black woman first and an athlete second. And she appeared to receive some backlash. She didn't get no backlash from us. Matter of fact, we commended this sister right now for content. And you can't take that as being a fan of mine. She said, so take it or leave it. Follow me or not, but I'm going to continue to share and spread the word of reality for my black. Stop seeing because it's the reality of what we live in, and we're blinded by privilege. And you can't take that as being a fan of mine, she said. So take it or leave it. Follow me or not, but I'm going to continue to share and spread the word of reality for my black society and for the people that are around that understand me as well. But I'm not stopping, so unfollow me. That's right. She doubled down on it. I like that. So she told your ass, and she told your ass again. Fans haven't always sided with Sha'Carri throughout her. Well, here they go with the smear campaign. Kids.
Caitlin Hutchinson, I work for City Mag. This one is for Sha'Carri, but before I ask you the question, I feel like people have been drilling you with questions, so for a quick second, I want to be able to speak some life into you. I just want you to know that I'm so proud of you. I know I'm not really nobody to you, so it probably doesn't mean too much, but I'm just so proud of the way that you have handled yourself, the way you've grown over the years from LSU to now to be able to finally come out with a world championship medal. For everybody that's literally doubted you on social media, because I know they can get real ruthless, for all your competition that didn't believe in you, for the moments that you probably didn't even believe in yourself. I'm just glad that you finally came out here and do what you were destined to do, because girl, I truly believe you are anointed by God, because you have been through so much. But here you go on top, and it was your time, and he said it was your time. So I'm so happy for you. But to ask the question before they try to snatch this mic out my hand, you have done so much for this sport, and I can easily see you transcending past track and field, because your speed impacts a lot of people, but your personality and what you do and the life that you speak into other people, I feel like is going to go way much further than your speed, in terms of like thinking about God and your destiny and stuff like that. So I just want to know for you, in what ways do you want to continue to transcend the sport and have an impact outside of, just being fast and being the world champion?
I want to say, you as a black woman sitting here in this room, I appreciate you asking me the question and anointing, giving me that loving right there, representing for us as always. But I will say honestly, I don't even know what to say. It's surreal. I think in the morning I'll probably feel it, but it feels amazing just knowing that not only people see me as an athlete, but they see me as a person. I feel like that's my biggest thing more than anything. I want people to see that it goes beyond an athlete. You bring who you are onto the track. You bring your athlete into your life. There is no separating, honestly. So I'm glad that I can display who I really am, not my pain, not my sadness. I'm glad to sit here and be happy with whole and just knowing that it all paid off.
God got you. All right.
2 more questions.
American sprint sensation.
It's far from her most famous victory, but winning the stall gift means the world to Sha'Carri Richardson.
I had a great time. Y'all fueled me. Y'all made this moment happen. So thank you.
Her partner and fellow sprinter, Christian Coleman, among the first to congratulate her. The 26-year-old from Texas storming home after starting from scratch. 13.15 seconds her time, and didn't she need all 120 metres to get over the line?
Sha'Carri's running her down. It's so close. She's got up. She's come from the clouds.
With more than 4.3 million followers on Instagram, the hype surrounding Richardson's win at stall is a marketing success. The handicap race already making headlines around the world.
I think I realized I was going to run right past 90.
History was made here today at Central Park in stall, with Sha'Carri Richardson becoming just the third woman of all time to win off scratch.
Back home, I want to let y'all know this is one of the most exciting, fun, and entertaining track meets I've ever ran in. Not even just that, but the true love and support for track and field. Unbeatable.
Moments later in the men's, it was Olufemi Komolafe who took out the famous foot race.
Komalafe's a clear leader over Ireland, and he's done it. Felt like a date with destiny.
The 21-year-old medical student from Adelaide not exactly sure when the win and the $40,000 prize will really sink in.
Maybe in a few hours I'll really realise I'm still buzzing a bit, but yeah, it will kind of sink in after I get some time to cool down, I guess.
30 years on from her famous stall win,
Kathy Freeman, she does it.
Kathy Freeman was keeping
is believed to be those of 95 black Jim Crow era prisoners forced to perform free labor were unearthed in Sugar Land, Texas, as a result of one man's quest to get to the truth. Now, Reginald Moore heard the stories of how Sugar Land, a suburb of Houston and home to Imperial Sugar Company, was a sprawling network of sugarcane plantations and prison camps a century ago. From sunup to sundown, convicts were leased by the state to plantation owners to work in the fields chopping sugarcane, sometimes until they, quote, drop dead in their tracks, end quote, as the State Convention of Colored Men of Texas complained in 1883. Does that sound familiar? Moore researched Sugar Land's slavery and convict leasing history for 19 years and gathered a hunch that the bodies of former slaves and black prisoners were still buried in Sugar Land's backyard. He focused his attention on a site called Imperial State Prison Farm, the one that bore the name of the country's premier sugar company. It was there that the discovery of the 95 graves of the 24 intact skeletons found all had African-American traits, appeared to be muscularly built. Many had the same misshapen bones indicative of repetitive hard labor, and they ranged in age from as young as 14 and as old as 70. Bodies believed to be those of 95 black Jim Crow era prisoners forced to perform free labor were unearthed in Sugar Land, Texas, as a result of one man's quest to
We have I got the transcripts. Mitch, we have to bring slavery back.
Those were the good old days. Kevin, how will we do that? There's no way we can do that. Mitch.
Texas storming home.
They voted against the reparations. Let's get into this video.
Okay, so I got the transcripts. Mitch, we have to bring slavery back. Those were the good old days. Kevin, how will we do that? There's no way we can do that. Mitch, black people won't do it, but white people will. Kevin, how will we get white people to be slaves? That sounds ridiculous. Mitch, we have to get rid of the separation of church and state. We must have state-funded religious schools. Kevin.
All right, can y'all hear me now? Let me know if y'all can hear me now. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Thanks for letting me know, Mason. I don't know how long y'all couldn't hear me for, but can y'all hear me now? I don't know what's going on. All right, cool, cool. Damn, you probably couldn't hear none of that whole beginning part. But I was just saying, shouts out to Shakari Richardson, right? Who said, I'll do it again at the end. But shouts out to Shakari Richardson, who set a record. Because they always hate on the sister when she's doing good, but never say nothing when she's doing bad. But the fact of the matter is, the sister always was like, I'm black before I'm an athlete. You know what I'm saying? And she tweeted out, they got mad at her because she tweeted out how she was showing Tamir Rice and Kyle Rittenhouse, you know, and Trayvon Martin and all that stuff. And they was like, oh, and she was like, no, look, I'm always going to talk about black stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I'll do that at the end. But they always hate on her, right? And this was a good movement, but I wanted to say shouts out to her because she just crushed them white girls out there. But thanks for letting me know that y'all couldn't hear me. And if y'all still can't hear me, let me know, you know. But anyway, so I showed the Sugarland plantation thing, right? I guess I'll start over, right? Let's just do it.
Get to the truth. Now, Reginald Moore heard the stories of how Sugarland, a suburb of Houston and home to Imperial Sugar Company, was a sprawling network of sugarcane plantations and prison camps a century ago. From sunup to sundown, convicts were leased by the state to plantation owners to work in the fields chopping sugarcane, sometimes until they, quote, dropped dead in their tracks, end quote, as the State Convention of Colored Men of Texas complained in 1883. Does that sound familiar? Moore researched Sugarland slavery
Thank you.
and convict leasing history for 19 years and gathered a hunch that the bodies of former slaves and black prisoners were still buried in Sugarland's backyard.
Now, I was saying I was playing that. I could have waited to play this, but we're playing that because it's gonna come into play later, right? For what we're talking about here, right? Now, I played this and I'll play this again, right? Um, right, because we all know what sharecropping is. It's slavery, right? You know, y'all probably out enjoying y'all time off. Like, you got, guess what? Slaves got the weekends off too. If you ain't even know that, some of them even got paid. Some of them got paid more than you. But I guess you can quit. I don't know.
Today's video.
But check it out.
So I got the transcripts. Mitch, we have to bring slavery back. Those were the good old days. Kevin, how will we do that? There's no way we can do that. Mitch, black people won't do it, but white people will. Kevin, how will we get white people to be slaves? That sounds ridiculous. Mitch, we have to get rid of the separation of church and state. We must have state-funded religious schools. Kevin, I don't see where you're getting at. Mitch, those...
Now, that's where I was at, right? Now, he said state-funded religious schools, right? Because, I mean, hell, that's what you're going to, like, it worked on Negroes for sure, you know what I'm saying? Is you gonna be like, Lord Jesus, you know, and all that stuff. But he was like, yo, no, we got to make a separation between church and state, right? To get them back in the fields, right? Because you'll blindly fall. And by the way, they're supposed to be slaves up in heaven anyway, you know what I'm saying? According to the I ain't gonna say scriptures. I'm gonna say to that the words in the book, you know what I'm saying? In that book, it says they supposed to be slaves anyway. So I don't know.
Those schools will have work programs for 4th through 8th graders. Kevin, I think I see where you're going here. How is that going to work?
Now let me run this back a little bit, right? Because he was like, "Oh, look where they start at, right? Well, we're gonna start with the children. We're gonna start with their kids. You know what I'm saying? They always start with the babies, right? Because a lot of babies they're already indoctrinated. We get the coon chip installed into us from our perspective.
Church and state. We must have state-funded religious schools. Kevin, I don't see where you're getting at. Mitch, those schools will have work programs for 4th through 8th graders. Kevin, I think I see where you're going here. How is that going to work? Mitch, we get the kids to pick all the produce as a part of their work program to teach them the values of good old-fashioned blue-collar labor. And
By the way, they tried that before and they died. Like they all died because like they can't be outside. Maybe they got sunscreen now. So, but it's what they call the starving time. Look that up. They tried to enslave their own, and they had the starving time where they was like eating each other. You know what I'm saying? I guess they still eat each other, but look it up. You know. But he's saying, right? So we just get like this work programs for these young kids, and then you be like, "Yeah, baby, you best to sign up. If they giving it to the white kids, you better go sign up for that damn work program, right? Learn how to be a damn worker, not how to own the goddamn mechanic shop, but to be a mechanic in somebody else's shop."
all the produce as a part of their work program to teach them the values of good old-fashioned blue-collar labor and the bounty of God. Kevin, I don't think that anyone will go for that. Mitch, it's all about grooming. Start in the 1st grade, and by 4th grade, they'll be ready to do it. Kevin, but we already have people to pick the produce. Mitch, we have to finish the wall. Kevin, no way that's going to happen. Mitch, we find better ways to get the immigrants out of the United States. Kevin, like doubling ICE. Mitch, yes. Kevin, this will be too busy, too hard, and we'll be too busy.
Get them out of here. Adios, senor and senorita.
Trying to sustain this over long periods of time and generations. Mitch, no, we get rid of the abortion laws in the United States and we make it mandatory that all 8th grade females be impregnated in order to graduate. Kevin, like replacing the crops. Ha ha ha, pun intended. Also, Kevin, I will work on getting the abortion banned. You work on state-funded religious schools. Mitch.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if that helps their as far as their health benefits because Neanderthals can't really reproduce, even if they try it with 8-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Which is just Greek culture. Like, why are y'all shocked at this? Like, I probably shouldn't be pausing it, but why are you shocked? Like, I just told you about this history the whole time, right? The Europeans they're not creative. They do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. This is what doesn't make any sense. Why? Like, I get it. They have to keep us dumb, right? That's why he say go for the school kids, right? Because they have to keep you dumb. All right, I'm gonna stop.
Mitch, we don't have to do either. Lindsay and I took care of that with the new SCOTUS.
And I told you they was with the dude Steve Bannon years ago. They was like, "Yo, we need to replace the school board." That's what their angle of attack was the school boards, the school representatives. As if they didn't already wasn't teaching you like goddamn you was a damn migrant that came over here. But I guess that was too extreme. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more dangerous than them telling you like just Martin Luther King and stuff like that. As opposed to because if you don't know nothing, you're gonna go find out on your own. But if they giving you scraps, you're gonna be happy with the scraps and be like, hey, this is good. You know what I'm saying? That's why I personally think that that kind of mentality is more dangerous and keeps you more enslaved, right? Because like that's how you tell a lie, that's how you do whatever and succeed or whatever. You give the person a little bit of the truth, you know what I'm saying? You give them a little bit of what they need, just enough so they're not starving, but they can still be hungry, but they're not starving, right? And so we give you a smidget of your history, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we're not gonna tell you about Ida B. Wells. We'll tell you about no offense, but like Booker T. Washington. We'll tell you about Martin Luther King, but not really Malcolm X. Not no offense to either one of them, you know what I'm saying? But it's to keep your information. It is to all right, I'll let this white dude say it for me here.
Yuri Alexandrovich Bezmenov. Mr. Bezmenov was born in 1939 in a southern Indian languages. He headed to the West in 1970 after becoming totally disgusted with the Soviet system, and he did this at great risk to his life. He certainly is one of the world's outstanding experts on. Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't.
Ideological subversion. And you are totally dominated by it by now. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about the new world order because we still screwed on the last world order. We ain't caught up to the old world order yet. So that's why I'm like not even worried about the new world order yet until it's no such thing as a world war. There's a world war, right? Because it wasn't no African representation. It was African people in it for everybody else, but it wasn't no war for African people or black people or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was no war on behalf of us. So there has not been any world wars yet because we haven't been in one. So it can't be if our population not even in it yet for ourselves.
Fully understand. When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
Right, you call me racist and stuff. I'm extreme. I'm telling you, I'm trying to give you the positive solution, and I don't think that'll be enough. But I'm still hoping. That's my faith. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe in. Right? Because that's not real. You know what I'm saying? But I hope that self love would be enough. But I don't think that will be enough. You know what I'm saying? you already know what I would have pushed the button a long time ago because I think we're doomed, you know what I'm saying? Because we have been subverged for a long time. You know what I'm saying? To the point where we don't even remember our own ideological systems. You know what I'm saying? Or your last name or or your language you spoke. We argue about continental stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we was here, we was there. Not even particular things, particular areas. We like have continent arguments. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't even pinpoint it or tell you how we spoke or what we spoke. You know what I'm saying? And even if you think you somewhere else that you think you have it, like you should probably look up when your country was even made, you know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like that back then, you know what I'm saying? Was it pre-European invasion or after pre-European invasion? You know what I'm saying? So unless you from Senegal Island or whatever, and you probably ain't listening to me, and they don't need to. They're the only ones in the world that shouldn't listen to me. But y'all think I'm too extreme because like what he said, you know what I'm saying, is like to be like, yo, that's extreme, like that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like what we have to do is love thy enemy.
It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years?
Listen,
because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being...
basically it takes, I don't forget all that Marxist Lenin, like all that nonsense, because he could be fake and for them, you know what I'm saying? But we know that they've done this to us, right? It takes one generation. Now we've had like 27 generations, you know what I'm saying? But and probably more than that, to be honest with you. I don't know how many generations, but they tell you, and like I hope that y'all can hear what I'm saying. I hope that it's like not blank or whatever, but they tell you, right, what you do is teach the children how to be slaves, right? It goes from first to 12th grade, kind of preschool to 12th grade, and then typically 4 years of college, right? Where you get deeply ingrained in whatever you being um put into. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. At the end of the day, like this is why you got to control your own institutions or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where...
Yo, he needs to say for 600 years, and it's reached a point to where it collapses on itself to the point where like we do it to each other now. They don't even have to do it. You know what I'm saying? It collapses in on itself that we've been so demoralized that we just do the same thing over and over and over and over. I don't know.
Previously, not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes his balls,
A
then
Negro
he'll
wake up call.
understand. But not before that. That's the tragic of the situation.
But
Of
not
demoralization.
before that. That's the tragedy of the situation. You'll never believe me until it happens to you. crazy.
The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation. It's what matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a simple expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda. When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in '68, Comrade Brezhnev said, now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized. This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country.
This is what has happened in Negro land.
All kind of goodies and the paradise on earth to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with benevolent dictators like Walter Mondale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. Your leftists in United States, all these professors and all these beautiful civil rights defenders, they are instrumental in the process of the subversion only to destabilize the nation. When their job is completed, they are not needed anymore. They know too much. Some of them, when they get disillusioned, when they see that Marxist-Leninists come to power, obviously they get offended. They think that they will come to power. That will never happen, of course. They will be lined up against the wall and shot. But they may turn into the most...
You hear that? They think that once they be a part of, they'll be down with the system. Like, they just want to be down. But they won't be. They'll be lined against the wall and they'll be put out of their damn misery. Right? No matter how much you suck up, no matter how much pots you kiss, they're going to line you up. At the end of the day, they're going to put you against the wall and they're going to tell you, right, that thanks for your service. Bow. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do you like they did Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how down you try to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense,
Most bitter enemies of Marxist-Leninists when they come to power. And that's what happened in Nicaragua. You remember most of these former
Marxist-Leninists in Nigeria, Ghana,
or one of them split and now he's working against
Egypt.
It happened in Grenada when Maurice Bishop was already a Marxist. He was executed by a new Marxist.
South Africa.
There's more Marxist than this Marxist. Same happened in Afghanistan when first there was Taraki, he was killed by Amin, then Amin was killed by Babrak Karmal with the help of KGB. Same happened in Bangladesh when Mujibur Rahman, very
appreciate that. So, all right. Ideological subversion. We have been totally submerged, subversed and whatever, But now I want to show you this because I showed you the chain gang thing before, you know what I'm saying? And so now in Louisiana, shouts out to my brother Anthony down there in Louisiana. He better not lose his house. I'm telling you now.
In the New Orleans area and other big cities, it remains a problem that Kenner Representative Debbie Villio is trying to address.
This legislation, which we are naming Streets to Success, prioritizes and balances accountability, compassion.
The bill is called Streets to Success, right? So Louisiana lawmakers she's trying to pass a bill to criminalize homelessness, to make them workers again, you know what I'm saying? To basically sharecroppers, you know what I'm saying? To your former masters. We're gonna figure all that now. You know how they be like, oh, when you talk about reparations, you need a study, right? They ain't gonna need too much of a study to find out who you used to work for. Like, what's your last name? Jones? All right. You get your what's your last name? White? All right. All right, cool. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? Um, all right.
Prioritizes and balances accountability, compassion, fiscal responsibility, and the long-term well-being of individuals, families, and neighborhoods.
Vilio's bill would allow police to arrest people who camp outdoors in a public space and then put them in a homeless diversion program if they have not been convicted of violent felonies.
We're not looking to jail.
Homeless diversion
We're looking to
program. Jesus.
integrate them with the criminal justice system in an effort to connect them to service providers.
Under the proposed bill, a judge would put somebody arrested for camping outdoors on probation and then put them into programs designed to get them off the streets. But those opposed to the program say it simply creates legal complexities for many people who are simply down on their luck.
This bill doesn't solve homeless. It makes it harder for people like me trying to survive and rebuild.
The bill says if a homeless person completes the program successfully, the judge could dismiss charges. But homeless advocates say there must be a
Charges
better
for being
way.
homeless.
This approach will also deepen the existing racial inequities given the disproportionate number of homeless people in Louisiana who are Black.
But the bill's sponsor says it's about rehabilitation, not incarceration.
This external pressure
Rehabilitate them in jail.
impactful for those who are reluctant to seek help on their own.
The Street to Success
that
bill
crazy?
passed on a 12-4 vote and now goes to the full House. Rob Manson, Fox 8 Local First.
So it passed, right? So Louisiana lawmakers advanced bill to criminalize homelessness. And that's now one thing I just said, that they're not original. They do the same thing over and over and over. Now look, this is one of the things that they did, right? All right, so look, under the Vagrancy Act of 1866, right? So y'all say the 13th Amendment in 1865. Now, before that really got on the books, right? 1866, the Vagrancy Act, which led to the if you were homeless, they had you to work apprenticeships, most times with their former slaves, right? So, okay, all right, my bad. I already asked the question. Let me go back. Yeah, so to criminalize formerly enslaved people who were unemployed or homeless, effectively forcing them into labor contracts. Right? These laws restricted freedom of movement, allowing for arrest of black individuals for minor offenses, which being homeless is the offense. Right? And this is here in Virginia where I'm at. So those arrested for vagrancy were often leased out by state governments to private plantations and industries, right? The same way that they lease out prisoners to McDonald's today, you know what I'm saying, or Starbucks or something like that, and look it up, you know what I'm saying? So, same thing, right? So, some describe it as worse than slavery due to, among other things, intense, often fatal abuse, right? 1924 World Report, So, these laws were explicitly designed to ensure black labor remain inexpensive and or free. And let me highlight that, for free, preventing formerly enslaved people from leaving plantations or building independent lives, right? So what happened to the children after they got arrested for being homeless? Children of arrested black people were often deemed vagrant themselves and forcibly apprenticed to white employers, frequently their former slave masters. Right? So what's your last name? All right. I don't know my last name, but whatever your last name is, that's who you're gonna have to work for. You know what I'm saying? The Smith or whoever your last name. This system, used in states like Virginia and South Carolina, allowed for the separation of families and involuntary labor. Right now, voluntary servitude is illegal. Shouts out to Karma 804. Well, this is the law that they are passing now. The law they've always had. So, and they said involuntary servitude, but they didn't say nothing about voluntary servitude, right? So, but with this law, you still have involuntary labor, right? So males bound, and so that goes to the except punishable by crime, which is being homeless, you know. So males bound until the age of 21, females until 18. All right. So just because you were the children, and then guess what happened after they set you free, right? You're homeless now, so now we can arrest you. You know what I'm saying? Um, now this is um
What if just standing in the park or sitting on the sidewalk can get you arrested? For a long time in America, that's exactly
uh-oh.
what happened, especially if you was black. And don't let you have been poor. And it's legal. It's called vagrancy laws. Vagrancy laws has been used to punish people not for what they did, but how they look and who they are. Let's break it down. Vagrancy, the definition, means not having a job or home, just hanging around for no good reason. So pretty much these are laws that say that you can be arrested for not doing anything. Nope, nothing at all. It's not funny, but it's true. Stuff as simple as standing in a certain location too long, not having an ID, or just being suspicious. With these laws, it's not about what you do, it's actually about what people think you would do. And that's a big problem because what they say about assumptions. Now, let me tell you where it came from, right? After slavery ended in the US in 1865, millions of black people were finally free. But southern states didn't want to lose free labor, so they made new laws. These were called black codes. And a lot of them were just vagrancy laws in disguise. If a black man didn't have a job or just looked lazy, which I'm going to debunk that lazy stereotype later, police could arrest
You
him.
know who's lazy though?
Jail, they'd be forced to
Freaking
work
Mexicans
for free
are.
on
I ain't gonna
farms,
front.
railroads, factories, just like slavery, but now legal slavery. What's happening today? Okay, so the system was called convict leasing, and it made Caucasian land owners rich all over again. Now, over the years, vagrancy laws did not go away, obviously. In the 1950s and 1960s, they used these laws to arrest people during the civil rights movement, just for marching, sitting at lunch counters, protesting, even though they was the ones getting spit on and hit on. In cities, they were used to clear out poor neighborhoods, arrest the homeless, and stop people from looking like they were out of place. If you were poor, black, or homeless, that was enough to get you locked up. Vagrancy laws let the police choose who they target. That's how they get away with a lot of stuff that they do. And the truth is, vagrancy laws never left, they just changed names. Like loitering, panhandling, urban camping, whatever that means. And this is used to push homeless people out of sight, not actually help with the homeless problem. We all want safer streets, but arresting people for being homeless is not the answer. It just punishes people who actually need help. Understanding vagrancy laws helps understand how racism and poverty still go on today. So now that you know what it means.
All right. So like I said, as of like 8 days ago, Louisiana, my brother down there in Louisiana, um, might be in trouble. You better go
Yeah,
get a
Louisiana
job, boy.
lawmakers advanced a bill that some worry will criminalize homelessness.
Better learn how to say yes, sir.
Bill's author, Representative Debbie Villio, says her bill focuses on offering unhoused people accused of nonviolent crime treatment and
Unhoused
housing
people.
instead of going to jail. After successfully completing that 12-month treatment program, that person's charges would be dropped. But the bill also includes criminalizing camping on public property without permission. Supporters say it's for public safety. Today, Louisiana lawmakers advanced a bill.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Now, the other part about this subversion, this ideological subversion, right? A part of it is controlling other people's morals, you know what I'm saying, and how they react. And like we be like, yo, I shouldn't be mad at, like, no, your emotions is not something that you should be controlled by. They are what they are. You know what I'm saying? They let you know that something is wrong, you know. And I had to go through my whole thing of learning how not to ignore my emotions or any of that stuff and trust myself, you know what I'm saying? But we get so spooked out, you know what I'm saying, to the point where yeah, people are afraid, you know what I'm saying, to say what I say, or you'll have a you have been subverted ideologically. It's hard for me to say that word, y'all. I'm sorry, you know. But you have been subverged, you know what I'm saying? And so now you are like, oh, I'm tripping because I don't be like, you know what I'm saying, oh, blue, no matter, or whatever I will or won't say, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that I'll say we have no friends and it is what it is, because you've been spooked out already, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not hard on, that's why I said from the beginning, I'm not hard on the coons, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand you've been subverted, you know what I'm saying? You're done, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying not to get you to pass that on down to the next generation, you know what I'm saying, at this point, you know. So I'm not tripping about it, you know what I'm saying? But y'all are tripping about me. But y'all get to that point, you know what I'm saying? I hope the button gets pushed, right? Like we could get wiped out right now for all we know, you know.
There's an extremely viral post going around saying that slaves suffered more than Jesus. I mean, bro managed to get almost 1 million likes in 2 days, 14,000 comments. And when you open the comments, everyone is questioning their faith. Look at this. I'm a Christian, but damn, never thought about it like that. This year is really questioning my faith. 131,000 likes on a comment. How are people going to disagree with this? This is too good, bro. Be careful. You see, what y'all are doing is trying to measure suffering as just physical. Who had it worse?
Oh, that's it, yeah.
The cross was never just physical. Jesus wasn't just beaten. He was abandoned by his own, betrayed by his own, falsely accused, and publicly humiliated. And then he carried the full weight of sins. The full weight, not just some of your sins, all of your sins. Every lie, every betrayal, every evil act that every single one of us has ever committed in history. Again, us humans, with our limited minds, will not be able to understand because we see suffering as just physical.
Wait, what type of human, before I even respond to that? What type of human?
You're talking about human suffering. Jesus took on something far deeper than that. And you know what's crazy? He didn't even resist it. He chose it. No one forced him on that cross. So if you say that others suffered more, you're missing the whole entire point of the cross. The cross was never.
Why have thou forsaken me? All right, I'm asking the same question. Why have thou forsaken me? Because we ain't had no damn. I ain't choose this. You know what I'm saying? I would do the same thing that they did when they left the body on the floor and whatever planet, or Amazon or whatever, and they burnt it down. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's the mindset it is. Because they'll leave your body on the floor for 6 hours. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the proper way to do. Like it doesn't, and then you better get back to work though, boy. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how high you are. Better get back to work, boy.
About who suffered the most physically. It was about who carried what no human ever could. Not me, not you, not your neighbor.
Cause you're gonna be arrested if your ass lose your house now. So you best shut the hell up and get back to work.
Not your brother, not your sister, not your mother, no one.
Did Jesus on the cross suffer more than slaves? Hell no. After the cross, right? Did they eat him? Did they consume Jesus Christ after the cross? No, they didn't.
Damn.
Did they just take a bunch of knickknacks and souvenirs off? No, they didn't.
And
For
castrate
the most
him.
part, his body stayed intact, right? That didn't happen to black people. Even in
He
death,
even came
they
back.
were still not in death.
Why none of us come
Their
back?
bodies were stuffed and put on exhibits, right? And then mutilated and put on display. Their bodies were stolen from morgues for experimental purposes. Their bodies were propped up as dolls, following lynchings for laughs and giggles. This is documented stuff. Did Jesus suffer more than the slaves? You have to take the worst part of Jesus Christ's life. You have to take the worst moment in his life just to try to even compare it to slavery. The moment I hear about black atrocities, y'all instantly pivot to another scenario, a hypothetical if Jesus on a cross suffered more than the slaves. They used to cut the feet of slaves off, the feet and hands, so they can still work and just kind of hop around, but they can't run.
Oh, it depends on what they do. Cut your tongue out, poke your eyeball out, or your cut your nose off, or cut your tongue out. That was a popular one because if they can cut your tongue out, you just shut the hell up and get back to work, right? Or he'll break your kneecap so you can't keep running. If you was one of the rebellious ones, if you had drapetomania, they just break your kneecaps or whatever. You know, like, I don't know how many times they broke your arm because they need you to go out there and pick the cotton. Depends on what you do, right? So
They used to break the feet of slaves. This is real history. Even now, some towns celebrate by having chocolate-covered hands, and you wonder why. It comes from
Slaves suffer more than Jesus. Oh, please. No human could ever do what Jesus Christ has done for the whole world. This is really ridiculous.
well,
And
that's
the
true. I
amount
can't
of
do it for
people
nobody
that
but
are
black people.
agreeing with this is insane. I am African American.
Look, luckily, I'm the nicest person since Jesus, but I'm only gonna do it for black people. All right. So, but right now, y'all ain't convincing me that it'll matter. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all be like, well, y'all gonna be like, oh, it was for everybody. If you go back and listen to the live he did, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he said, all lives could possibly matter. But I was talking about human Homo sapiens. I was only talking about black people. In every instance, I'm only talking about black people. You know what I'm saying? I'm I'm the nicest since Jesus. I ain't gonna go past that. You know what I'm saying? Because apparently he did it for everybody. So I don't got that handicap. So I might be the nicest one ever. I don't know.
Myself, and I do not agree with any of that. 0%, not at all. Nobody can amount to what our Savior has done. Just think about everything that God has done for us and is currently doing for us. He created Adam and Eve,
Thank
and
you.
they had everything, and they still deceived. They still got deceived. And that's how the fall ended up happening. Then yet again, look what was happening with Sodom and Gomorrah, and they had to get destroyed, and God still set up there and gave the world grace. And then look what happened with the flood. He never did the flood again.
Wait. My question though, how is Sodom and Gomorrah bad, but they ain't do nothing about the Greek culture? They still doing it right now. Why they ain't destroyed the Greek culture? Now that's making me question it. Because if Sodom and Gomorrah, but the Greeks was cool, wait a minute.
And that's when Jesus Christ came and took the sins of us and went up on the cross and died for us. No slave could ever do that. None.
That's for sure. She got that right.
Slaves suffered more than Jesus did, right? And people are
She got that right. That last sentence, and no slave could ever do that.
mad. Cool. Be mad. You have the right to be mad, right? But what we're not going to do is downplay what my ancestors.
Nat Turner was like, "No, I ain't gonna be no slave." Like he wasn't no slave. He didn't die no slave. He was like, "I ain't gonna be no slave." Forget that. You know what I'm saying? Now y'all try to rationalize it. Oh well, it's not this. This is Voters' Right Act of 1965, and and I'm cool with I'm cool that they added the immigration clause inside of the civil rights bill, right? Although it hurts me, I'm cool with that because I love everybody. Whatever, I don't know.
Went through. How can it be a true sacrifice if you quote unquote died, right? Came back to life for 3 days, walked on earth for 40 more days to show yourself to your followers and be around people, and then you ascend to heaven. It's not even you never really died like that. You didn't. It was God's plan to resurrect him. So it was pointless. It didn't do nothing. And also sin is still here. People are still here disconnected from God, whatever, through sin. It didn't work. It was pointless. So then we go to slavery, right? Where my people went through hell, right? They were eaten, beaten, traded, raped, put through everything. Hard labor for free, beaten. It like I'm telling you, hung, skinned. They called it skin leather. They were making clothes from their skin. They would tie a man upside down, cut his genitals off, and put it in his mouth. Jesus didn't get skinned and eaten. Well, y'all say eat his flesh and drink his blood. But on to another point. That didn't happen to dude for 400 years, for generation to generation after. He came back to life 3 days later and went to heaven. And then not only that, right, they
If out of be wells come back, then yeah, I'm a believer.
We submit. The Bible says here, I think it's in what is it, Ephesians? Obey your masters, obey your earthly master. But then they proceed to say you're all equal under God's name, all equal under God. Huh? And then not only that, though, they say, hey, Jesus is going to return. Imagine if my people were sitting here.
No, the chosen ones, bro.
We would have still been in slavery right now. Then y'all sitting here talking about yeah, man, he died so we can have eternal life. Okay. If eternal life was really a thing, right? And eternal life was just so good, why did God bring Jesus back to life? Why didn't he let him pass away and just take him to heaven that way? Huh? If eternal life was so sweet, why did God resurrect him and bring him back to life and then bring him to heaven? If eternal life after death was really a thing, y'all just think sometime. Right to be mad, right? But what we're not gonna do is downplay what my ancestors went through.
And what we not finna do is downplay what my God went through. We just agree to things because they sound true. But let's put things side by side of what Jesus went through and what the slaves went through. Imagine you came to save the whole world and the whole world hates you. That mental abuse is too much already.
Jesus, ain't you sitting up there talking about something like I'm throwing down my Black Panther badge because I want to protect all lives? I'm done imagining that. I'm trying to imagine where he was like, I've come only for my people. That's the one I'm imagining. I've only come for my people. That's the one I am.
Then you have to watch people pick the path that they want, knowing that that's not the path they want. You have to watch them get deceived. As Jesus, you watching them get deceived. That's like you got a little brother and your little brother got a girlfriend and you telling the little brother, hey, bro, she just deceiving you, bro. And he don't care. Imagine how you feel. You want him to come out of that. That's how Jesus felt multiple times.
That's how I feel right now.
You want to sit up there and debate that with a slave? I haven't even got into the beating part. You want to talk about food? Jesus asked for water on the cross.
Right.
Get water, bro. Water.
Ain't asked for no damn chitlins, y'all. Jesus ain't want no damn chitlins. Y'all tripping.
Imagine you ask for water and they ignore you. You may look at it like, man, that ain't it. What? He got whipped 39 times, I heard. And if he would have got
39 times, oh man. Oh, damn, you know what? I gotta pull it up, y'all. I'm sorry. Hold on, y'all. Let me do this. Because I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry for the delay. But I had to do it. He said Jesus got whipped 39 times. We're gonna see how many lashes it's gonna take. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, y'all. I might have messed it up. I might have messed myself up. Y'all probably can't even hear me now, but hopefully y'all can still hear me. But This just reminded me of this. I'm sorry.
Richard Jefferson, I sentence you to 500 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Stephen A. Smith, I sentence you to 4,000 lashes for.
Wait, y'all couldn't hear me that whole time? You can hear me now? Or you can hear me now? Or what? Like, or could y'all have heard me that whole time too?
Richard Jefferson, I sentence you to 500 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Stephen A. Smith, I sentence you to 4,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming.
Damn, I don't know why it's going in and out. All right. So hopefully y'all heard him. He was talking about the lashes
That's
thing.
Jesus. You watching them get deceived. That's like you got a little brother and your little brother got a girlfriend and you telling the little brother, hey bro, she just deceiving you, bro, and he don't care. Imagine how you feel. You want him to come out of that. That's how Jesus felt multiple times. And you want to
That's how I feel in this very second, my
sit up here
brother.
and debate that with a slave. I haven't even got into the beating part. You want to talk about food? Jesus asked for water on the cross. Get water, bro. Amen.
So y'all heard me when I said that, right? Because I was like, he ain't asked for no damn chitlins. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can stop asking for chitlins. All right.
He got whipped 39 times.
On no damn coons.
And if he would have got whipped
Raccoons.
one more time, that would have been. It tells you.
All right, let me see.
You may look at it like, man, that ain't it. What? He got whipped 39 times. I heard.
And so 39 times, 39 whippings, you know what I'm saying? So that brought me to this brother here.
Richard Jefferson, I sentence you to 500 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Stephen A. Smith, I sentence you to 4,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Chris Broussard, Rob Parker, I sent.
All right, Jesus ain't asked for no chitlins. He only asked for some water. So if y'all want to be on Jesus level, y'all better let the chitlins and the raccoons and the possums and all that stuff go. The chitlins ain't gonna help.
Broussard, Rob Parker, I sentence you both to 2,500 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Michael Wilbon, you fat, bald-head, no-neck midget, I sentence you to 3,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp, you're the biggest and strongest of everybody on the list, so I'm going to have to sentence you for 10,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man and saying that no black woman can make you happy. 10,000 lashes for Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp. Who else we got on this list?
All right. So 39 lashes is cool, man. I guess 39 lashes ain't too bad.
If he would have got whipped one more time, that would have been. So it tells you how bad they did, bro. And you want to sit here in my face and tell me. Then he had to control his anger. People ain't looking at that part. Oh, he got whipped and just dealt with it. No, he had to control.
Oh, it ain't have to be like get on the thing. Two sides did this. Ain't no one side did this. Two sides did this. I thank God for everybody involved. He had to control his anger. You better not say nothing. You better run down the street when that white girl chasing you and still get charged. You better control your anger, boy.
Control that anger. They treated a perfect man like a dog. And I don't even want to say they. The devil did it through them because they didn't understand. So imagine that. Imagine looking at a person that you made and then you got to send them to a place that you don't want to send them. And you going to sit here and tell me slaves had it harder than Jesus Christ. Okay, bro. But Jesus still got it hard. We just choose not to pay attention.
Ain't he dead?
How strong.
Oh, no, Jesus is not dead.
You're like, oh, that's God. He can just deal with it. He can just deal with the pain. He has emotions too. Why you think we got emotions? If he cried to somebody on this earth, they wouldn't understand his pain. Imagine that. Imagine.
Now, so I can only imagine y'all ain't got nothing to say because y'all don't even hear my pain. Y'all be like, "Oh, I'm tripping." Oh, I believe everything. I agree with the history part, but when you start doing that, now you're talking too far because there's some good ones and blah 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 and vote blue no matter who. Some of y'all brothers don't even want to talk to me. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing because y'all can't hear my pain. You know what I'm saying? Like to see the same thing playing over and over, to see the subversion ideologically or whatever. Yeah, ripped from their arms, from their stomachs, right? Not even slaves, like a woman who was supposed to be free in the 1800s and 1900s. They lynched her and cut the baby out of her and then stomped the head of the baby. You know what I'm saying? And
You, as the creator of the universe, you cry to your disciple, man, I just hate that this world won't get right. And he don't understand your pain. So you feel like you ain't got nobody as a perfect man. You got God, yes, but you want humans to understand you.
what up, RBG?
Like we got God, and we want
I
humans
wish
to
that
understand us.
Damn it, I wish that y'all Homo sapiens would understand me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all human beings. I ain't talking to the Homo Neanderthals or the Homo Denisovans or whatever they call them. I'm talking to you. Y'all don't hear my damn cry, man. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, yo, all right, it was Jesus, and then there's me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the nicest one since Jesus. And then I don't even have the handicap of for all people, like he said, according to him. I'm gonna say what Jesus said, but y'all don't let them twist my words up 1,000 years from now, though. You know, I come for my people. That's what Jesus said. That's what I'm gonna say too. I come for my people only. Nobody else, you know what I'm saying? That's what he
Oh,
said
now I play with Jesus went.
in their book,
He
you
got it
know.
way harder than the slave. He was a slave. He had to hold back tears
Yeah,
and
probably.
just numb himself. You done got mad before.
You mean like Emmett Till mom who had to put her son on the newspaper to try to teach us a lesson, but now we still having press conferences where black mamas is crying, talking about I don't know why the white boy who I love so much killed. I don't know if he did it or not, but she crying trying to figure out what happened in another damn country or continent. Or you could just name dozens of other black people who right here on this soil, of course.
Getting mad is. You know how that anger will control you. He controlled that same anger.
And I can't
Imagine
control
how
it.
hard
You're
that
right. That's why ain't nobody trying to. That's why ain't nobody messing with me now.
if you go in court, right? They accusing you for raping somebody. That's how Jesus felt.
Imagine, well, that's Emmett Till too. You know what I'm saying? Because didn't the white bitch say he whistled at her? Then before she died, said she lied about it, and then they was like, "Oh, is she too old? We can't do nothing about it." Or the damn college boy who got arrested for kissing a white girl who she kissed him and he got arrested for it. Or the brother running down the damn street for his life and still got charged. Or the college football players who goddamn anyway.
Multiple times.
Or the brother who they started Black Wall Street for, who said, "Oh, he touched me in the elevator." Or the brother who they accused of Rosewood, talking about how he did this. Anyway,
Times. And he just said,
imagine that, yo.
I ain't do it. I ain't do it. And don't nobody believe him. Imagine that. Right now, Jesus is talking to you, trying to get in contact with you. And the devil is in your brain, messing that up. Jesus still got it hard, my
The
brother.
white devil has
He wants you to
subverted you.
the devil's in the way. Well, why can't God make it more clear? Because he want to show you that the devil is in the way. He want to show you how deception is. If he make it too easy, you ain't really learning the hard. But when the hard come, then you confused on what to do. Slaves had it hard, but they didn't have it hard as Jesus.
I just saw a video that said Americans.
I don't care what you say, boy.
Ancestors did suffer more than Jesus suffered. Our ancestors who endured chattel slavery, and they suffered for years.
Centuries.
Jesus suffered for, what was it, a day? Not even a full 24 hours, the entire time on the way of the cross. The Stations of the Cross is how we call it in Catholicism. He was flagged and beaten.
A bootleg unk is what we call it over here.
During that entire time, from the time that they made him carry his cross to the time that they actually hung and crucified him, he suffered. I am not minimizing that.
I'm gonna minimize it a little bit. No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna minimize. Why have thou forsaken me? Is what I'm gonna say.
Our ancestors suffered far more. Now, some person in the comments of that post said,
Anyway, why do y'all forsake me? Is my question. Maybe so. Maybe he did. You know.
Way, like they'll demonize African religions, you know, voodoo, hoodoo, but turn around and worship these Greek gods. You know, we all know who Zeus is. We all know this. And
Now, if I was a little bit more palatable, not all of them, not all of it. It's a system. They have a whole system set up to create for self-protection. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't care about none of them individually. Ask me, do I hate white people? No, because I don't care about none of them. If they all got wiped off the face of the earth right now, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, this cracker here. You know what I'm saying? I missed their fucking Bobby Caldwell or whatever. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's a system created that affects me. If they was doing this to themselves somewhere in the caves and never left the caves or whatever, and was just eating each other over there, whatever they was doing, then who cares? You know what I'm saying? But it's a system, right? And that's why y'all be like, oh well, you know, I don't know about this and that. No, the punishment comes because it's a system. You know what I'm saying? You create a system. That's what it happened, and that's why you teach your children anyway.
that, but when it comes to our own religions, it's bad. Even the way they treat black magic, like it's everything that's black is a negative connotation. And I don't see how nobody realizes it, bro. Now we're gonna check out some videos of people disagreeing with me, and I'm gonna try to check them as much as I can, right? So yeah.
They nailed my mans to a cross with nails. They put a thorn crown on my man's head.
Oh, yo, it was a story of this brother who they tied up, right? It was a lot of them. Sometimes they would just shoot you over and over. Sometimes they shoot you like 300 times or shoot you in a certain spot until that part of your body falls off. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, you look it up. But I forget which one it was. I think it was like 1898 or something. It was like one that you would heard about. But and it's the one that they have the picture of the brother and he's in the fire and they kind of like stand like, you know, it's half a body, but yo, they kept dipping his body into the fire over and over, right? Until he kept screaming, then pull him up right before he died, you know what I'm saying? And then they would like torture him more or like shoot him or do something to him, right? Or just on a random thing, they would just poke out your eyeballs, cut off your ear, cut off your nose, cut out your tongue, right? Cut off each one of your fingers, castrate you, cut off your nipples. If you're a woman, cut off your breasts, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully you're not pregnant, or they'll cut your baby out your stomach and step on the head, you know, or cut off your feet, or famously castrate you. And then they would fight each other over who would take which souvenir. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't slavery. This was after slavery. You know what I'm saying? When you was on the chain gang, like we was just talking about, they would do all of this stuff to you at that time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, drunk, yeah, all that kind of stuff. And that was a typical punishment of like, yeah, you would get nailed to stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or hell, they put your hair in furniture. You know.
They made him carry a 300-pound cross. A 300-pound cross. Not for a mile, not for two. They made my man walk. Whipped him while he's carrying the cross. Whipped him while he had.
Bro, I'm not trying to sound inconsiderate to Christians, but Didn't Jesus, whatever, get crucified for 3 days? My ancestors would endure this shit for their entire
No, one
life.
day.
The average lifespan was what,
He
like 40
came
years?
back after 3
40
days.
years, whatever. It might have been longer. Pretty
A
sure
few hours.
40, 50, 60 years plus other things, right? Did y'all know most slaves only got like 3 to 4 hours of sleep? I mean, they were living on hell on fucking earth. And it's documented. We have
And even now, a lot of us only work on little sleep because that's a documented thing. Like you keep a person tired enough or whatever, and then especially if you keep somebody busy, you ain't gonna think of nothing innovative. You're not gonna think of like, and then even when we were tired, like you be bored, don't know what to do, like use that time to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like create something, like you know what I'm saying, like it's never too late to create something or do something or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Use the time that you have to your advantage, because that is something that is important for us to not have as a collective, is especially for men and stuff like that. They need to keep you working and tired and your time consumed, and then all of your off time inebriated to the point of you not willing to do something. Even if you get inebriated and you still down to do something, who cares, you know? Yo, shouts out to my brother Anthony, bro. Yo, you got to go back at the beginning, my bro. First of all, I shouted out Shakari Richardson, but then I talked about this law here, speaking of Jesus or whatever, but this law in Louisiana about homelessness. I don't know if you saw that, my brother. Yeah. Well, you ain't got to carry no big ass cross tomorrow, my brother. You only got to stand on your feet for 12 hours and do all that physical labor and stuff like that. But you ain't got to carry no big ass cross. Anyway.
literal proof of this. But this just shows you how truly
But
brainwashed.
yo, yeah, I was speaking about the homelessness bill that they passing in Louisiana, my brother. So I don't know if you want to say Louisiana criminalizing homelessness. So I don't know if you saw that.
A lot of our brothers are, and I'm not mad at him, man. It's just sad that he don't know his history.
Hey,
iEological
from the crown of God,
subverted.
thorn. And you gonna sit up and you gonna tell me, oh no, slaves had it worse. Oh no, slaves had it worse. What?
Yes, nigga. What the
What?
Not even comparing. But even if you were to compare, the slaves didn't. No one on this earth has suffered more than Jesus. No one has. I don't care which went through.
Did y'all know in the Jamaican plantations there were sugar fields, so they was mining, sugar and stuff. A punishment for the slaves, and this is documented. I'm going to put a picture up on the screen. A punishment for some of those slaves were getting put into boiling sugar. The fact that
Yo, watch I don't know if it's Drum or Mandingo, but like at the end he pushed the white dude into the boiling pot of water. But yeah, they did make people get into boiling water. And if you did it, you did it. If you didn't, you didn't. Now I'm not saying everybody did it now. That's what they want you to believe. Everybody did it. Somebody was like, hell no, I ain't doing that shit. Just like you would be like, hell no. Why I'm gonna get in a pot of boiling water when I'm gonna die anyway? You might well shoot me. You might well shoot me, sir. Look, sir, I just go pick some cotton, but I ain't getting in that water now, sir.
factories were actually nonstop. Like you had to work 24-hour shifts until you basically died, right?
Oh, and I'm just gonna play one part because this is what is Matron has been reading about this
But because it is too horrific to teach.
psychopath,
Thistlewood
dude.
wasn't a king or a general. He was a British slave owner in Jamaica in the 18th century. And for 37 years, he wrote everything down. Every rape, every torture, every mutilation in detail. His diary is one of the most disturbing documents in British history. Thistlewood started as an overseer, a middleman of
Most normal
He
document.
later bought his own land, enslaved dozens of people, and never returned to England. But what makes Thistlewood different isn't what he did. It's that he wrote it all down. In his diary,
And just imagine the things that weren't written down, bro. Like,
This psychopath probably wrote everything down. And Matron is actually reading this book right now, you know, what he's wrote down. And this dude is, I mean, he's a typical Neanderthal, typical practice Greek culture. Let's just say that to the fullest extent.
Thistlewood recorded 3,800 instances of rape. And it wasn't hidden. It wasn't ashamed. It was documented. On January 26, 1752, he wrote, gave Pibea a good cut whipped, then gave her a good dose of salts. Pibea was an enslaved concubine.
We'd rather hear Matron tell us than you, Cracker. So
This wasn't
the hell out of
instances
here,
of
back away.
rage. This was just policy. He had salt.
These men turn against each other and just become savages. And here is where
Just thinking about it, y'all. That is how they are.
Now listen, y'all.
1,000 men in this room.
Warn us. Really isn't that he
this room. And they used to drop down food while there was 1,000 men in this
Yo,
room.
Matron is reading that book right now, my brother.
Death.
All right, yeah, my brother is in the building. Yo, what up, my brother? You hear me?
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on, brother?
Ain't nothing, my brother. Hey, you missed the part, my
Let me
brother.
let me turn this air conditioner off for a minute. Hold on. It's hot out
You said
here.
what's that?
Hey, what's going on?
All right, yeah, you sound a lot better now.
Yeah, I had that air conditioner on. I'm sitting on that air conditioner. It's hot down there, bro.
Oh man, hey, don't have no heat thing because of me. Turn it back on if you need it, my brother. I ain't
No,
tripping.
man. No, man, I'm tripping, man. Yeah, what's going on, bro?
None. I think you missed the part, my brother, where Jesus only asked for water. He ain't asked for no damn chitlins, my brother. So
Yeah, I just walked in the house, man. I just came in. I've been up in the neighborhood kicking with some of the brothers, man. I just came in, man. But yeah. If Jesus had been around back then, he probably ate some of them chitlins, though. You probably would have too.
I doubt it, bro. It would have smelled
Hey, but
those
what you
like
was talking
hell
about?
no.
Hey, what you was talking about? What I had missed, man. You were saying something about some laws in Louisiana.
Oh yeah, my brother. Check it out. I'll play this one for you, my brother.
In spite of major sweeps of homelessness in the New Orleans area and other big cities, it remains a problem that Kenner Representative Debbie Villio is trying to address.
This legislation, which we are naming Streets to Success, prioritizes and balances accountability, compassion, fiscal responsibility, and the long-term well-being of individuals, families, and neighborhoods.
Villio's bill would allow police to arrest people who camp outdoors in a public space and then put them in a homeless diversion program if they have not been convicted of violent felonies.
We're not looking to jail anyone. We're looking to integrate them with the criminal justice system in an effort to connect them to
Integrate them with the criminal justice system.
Under the
What that
proposed
mean?
bill, a judge would put somebody arrested for camping outdoors on probation and then put them into programs designed to get them off the streets. But those opposed to the program say it simply creates legal complexities for many people who are simply down on their luck.
This bill doesn't solve homeless. It makes it harder for people like me trying to survive and rebuild.
The bill says if a homeless person completes the program successfully, the judge could dismiss charges. But homeless advocates say there must be a better way.
This approach will also deepen the existing racial inequities given the disproportionate number of homeless people in Louisiana who are Black.
But the bill's sponsor says it's about rehabilitation, not incarceration.
This external pressure is particularly impactful for those who are reluctant to seek help on their own.
The Street to Success bill passed on a 12-4 vote and now goes to the full House. Rob Masson, Fox.
So it passed, but so Streets to Success. And then I also, before you go in, I said the vagrant, you know about this though. So the Vagrancy Act of 1866 was criminalized unemployed or homelessness. And then what happened to those children, and then often made them work for the farmers and slavers. And then also what happened to those children, they were forcibly apprenticed to white employers, frequently their former slave masters. And this system used in states like Virginia and South Carolina allow for separation of families and involuntary labor. So yeah, what you think about that, brother?
Okay, yeah. No, I didn't. That was on. It was on a local channel, man. They was. I didn't see it though, man, because I had to go because it was the other day, my mama's birthday on the 11th, And so I left. You know, but it was a program. They was talking about it at that time when I left. I had to leave to go, you know, over there to celebrate with mom now. But yeah, I'd heard a little bit about it, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go back and look at it again. And but yeah, it's like you said, okay, like if you go back to like what you was talking about, those laws that after, you know, during the Reconstruction, the late Reconstruction period, well basically what we called it now, it was convict leasing. You know what I'm saying? It was the convict leasing thing. Where, you know, where they criminalized, you know, because you had all these black people around here who, you know, slavery was over with, they didn't have no jobs, they didn't have education and everything. And so if you just saw somebody that's a vagrant, you know, just somewhere like they was camping out places and stuff like that, no, they locked them up. They locked them up and they had what they had is called a convict leasing program. You know what I'm saying? Well, basically, like you said, how, you know, you said how they apprenticed them out to former slave masters or, you know, to companies or corporations, things like that. But yeah, that's basically what it was. We got down here was called a convict leasing program. And like that's when they first built Angola, the Louisiana State Penitentiary. Though was, you know, well, you know, you read about that, you know all of that history about Angola. But yeah, they called it the convict leasing program back then. It is the same thing now. Cause prison labor is big in the state of Louisiana and really across the southern part of the United States, the southern United States, just like it was back then. And probably other places too, where they're using inmates, inmates labor, you know, in fields and stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? It's sugar, like down here we got sugar cane, you know, and tobacco, and in Virginia and all these places, man, where they have those kind of crops. You know, these are like kind of like cash crops, you know, crops where, you know, a lot of big money come from. We had no steel, we had cotton, rice, all kind of stuff. You know, because like the Louisiana State Penitentiary ain't gold, it's self-sufficient. This is the one prison that I know don't have to get no subsidies or nothing from nobody. You know what I'm saying? They self-sufficient. They make everything they use. You know what I'm saying? They grow all their own food. They make their own clothes and everything. You know what I'm saying? The inmates' clothes and everything. Everything down there. That's from the labor. You know what I'm saying? They making the brothers, you know, having the brother have workshops where they train them and they make stuff. Man, they make shit that you wear it and don't even know it was made by convict labor, by inmate labor. You know what I'm saying?
McDonald's, Starbucks.
Yeah, all of that stuff. All of that stuff, man. A lot of those men and women who are from black men and women who from, you know, in the prison system. You know what I'm saying? They leasing them out. Like when they had this thing talking about beautify Louisiana, like clean up all the trash on the sides of the roads and all this other stuff here. Who doing it? See, at one time they used to have it like if you had like somebody had got into some trouble, like a DWI or whatever kind of trouble you got into, and that would be your, you know, you would either like pay the fine or spend time in jail or volunteer to do this kind of service. They had you on the side of the road, them orange suits and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Out there picking up trash and stuff like that. You know, all those kind of things, you know. And now, you know, they do it strictly with the inmates. You know what I'm saying? They had them doing it. And so this kind of thing, it's been around for a long time. And like right now we got a big homeless problem here. But most of the homeless people I see in Shreveport is white folks. Now they got black people. Man, forecast, they have areas in downtown Shreveport, you know, outside on the outskirts of places like that, where there are entire camps of homeless people. I mean, they got tents and everything. You know what I'm saying? And I was amazed to see so many black people. But I'm saying, you know, but it's a lot of white folks. It's like mostly white people here, but it's you see a growing number of black people though.
Well, that's why they're passing that bill now. They say if you out there.
Exactly. Like in cities, like I say, especially like, okay, the big cities like New Orleans, Baton Rouge, the capital, you know, Shreveport, you know, Lake Charles, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Monroe, Alexander, places like that where you see a lot of it at. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's definitely a thing, man. And it's definitely you know, we've seen it on the local news around here about them talking about it, you know, the growing homeless community. The community of homeless people, and you know how they setting up stuff. I actually had a friend who kind of, you know, he had got into some stuff. He kind of lost his mind a little bit. He was staying under a bridge, had his car and everything, but he was living under the bridge. And so
they're gonna push that propaganda now.
Yeah. I mean, you see it. You see it a lot, and you can see these things, see it all coming. Because like in California, they had where y'all making the state look bad out here, where they had all them homeless people out there in Malibu. The different places where those are big places with tourist spots and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And and the homeless people, begging for panhandling and stuff like that, and just being around, sitting around, making those spots like that are big tourist spots, look bad, and they say that's interfering with our money. And so what happened? Here they coming up with all that legislation, to remove the homeless people out the way. They're doing the same thing up in San Francisco right now. So it's a nationwide thing. That's all that they're doing right now. Against homeless people and in particularly black folks. You know what I'm saying? In particularly us. Other groups too. I don't want to be talking about black and brown shit, but no, that's basically what it is.
Damn, my problem. Only black people, they better go call Ben Shapiro, whoever the Mexican Ben Shapiro is or something. So, but yeah, facts though. Nah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100% though, for real. But you interrupted our session about Jesus, my brother. What are you doing?
Okay, well, go ahead. Let's talk about Jesus.
No, I'm just messing with you, bro. All right, so Jesus ain't asked. All he asked was some water. He ain't asked for no damn chitlins. All right, so.
Yeah, he asked for some water. He ain't asked for no chitlins. He ain't asked for nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, he ain't asked for nothing. Yeah, imaginary figures don't ask for nothing.
Yeah.
So somebody said they asked for it, and you Negroes believed it and fell for it. You know what I'm saying? And now you're hooked. And now you're hooked.
Yeah, exactly. And this part was about this is what Matron is reading about. We'll hear about from Matron though. I'd rather hear about from Matron. But Thomas Thistlewood, she reading the diary thing right now. So y'all subscribe to her. And check this out. This is what we said. And
Yeah,
did
I've been checking
Jesus
it out.
suffer more than us?
He used to drop down food while there was 1,000 men in this room and have them fight to the death for just a little bit of food because they would starve them for days, making these men turn against each other and just become savages.
Sound like psychological inversion.
Just thinking about it, y'all. That is how they already they seen that, bro. Put these people against each other already. Little small tactics like that, dropping down food when everybody's starving. You know it's gonna be chaos. The same way that's the same way I look at these hoods, bro. Everybody wants money. Everybody trying to eat, drop drugs in there. A couple of them trying to make some money and better themselves. Obviously, they're just.
By the way, if y'all actually go to the hood, it's like a lot of like older women and like women and it's like some dudes are there, but like most of the time nobody messing with you unless you like ride through like trying to be like, oh, I got this and that or whatever. But like I could go visit like family there. Like nobody ever bothered me when I was in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. Like,
Forecast, you 100% right, man. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Unless you out there flossing and everything, you're trying to be Big Willie and all that stuff. You pretty much nobody mess with you. You know what I'm saying? You don't bring attention to yourself. Now, of course you have, of course sometimes you have, you got to watch out like sometimes with them colors and hats and stuff and all, certain things. If you're in an area where they don't wear that, you don't need to wear that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you said, that's exactly how it is. When I was coming up, I mean, it was drama, but it was drama if you made it drama. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. Like most of the people there got like regular jobs. It might be like not a good job. Now it is a poverty mindset, you know what I'm saying, which doesn't come from out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? But as a people, I think we have a poverty mindset. And we think that getting out of the poverty mindset means surrounding yourself with more of them, But anyway, yeah, it's about Jesus though, not us.
You know what I'm saying? That's human nature. Fuck up everybody else. Kill some in a way. Like, bro, this division shit has always been planned, putting us against each other. The light, the dark, the old, the young, woman versus man. Now we see it now with the damn diaspora wars and shit, bro. Like, these folks is so smart and strategic with what they do, man. I'll just be telling y'all to pay attention, dog. Truly pay attention.
A rebellious female would be held. So she would be attached to that ball by chain all day with no food, no water, under the sun, rain, it didn't matter. She would be there until she was weak. The governor would come on this balcony and look down at her once she was weak and ask somebody to bring her up so he could SA her from this balcony. This was thousands of women. And like, as you could see, can you imagine being chained here naked all day and all these men are just walking around able to do whatever they want to you? When a female would get pregnant, they would keep them in the dungeon until they had the kid, and then they would take the kid up and they would raise the kid a little better because the kid would be lighter. They would teach them how to read, but you still weren't free. You still were under them. You weren't in the dungeon, basically. So this is kind of where the
I'm sorry, yo. I look at history at a different like, yo, because I see who those children came up to be, have children, have kids, came up to be, and they be the mulattoes, you know what I'm saying? Probably was Arab, you know, like based off where they at, you know what I'm saying? Probably were the damn Arabs, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
light skin privilege originated, and that's how it came all the way to where we are today, and we still have this issue. This is the actual female dungeon.
I can go. You can go on TikTok, YouTube, and you would learn. Yeah, we were 8. Look at this shit.
So I decided to take this chair apart and redo it. Well, I knew it was old, but I didn't know how old it was until I got in, realized it had been put together with twine, burlap, and this. But then I noticed this black stuff that was...
Y'all see that hair? That's coarse, kinky hair. That's our hair. And it was inside of the chair. So when we say these things, it may sound crazy. Yeah, it sounds crazy. But nigga, we done went through some fucking...
Yeah, we've met Neanderthals. Nothing is crazy anymore.
Can we please...
Look at that.
We've been
That is
subverted.
human hair.
It's human hair. Human hair and cotton.
But that's it for this video, man. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Now, it's sick, right? But they probably made them pick that very cotton, though, before killing them anyway. I know that's messed up to say, but it's probably true.
What's going on about this Afro think tank?
All right. It's not about weight, but it's about what this sister had to say. Because, you know, we was talking about the brother was coming on to defend Jesus or whatever, you know. Let me get to the part it's supposed to play. No offense to my brother here, but we're going to get to the point of it. If it plays, I don't know. Now it's freezing up, y'all, so.
Black women go.
People hop in my comments talking shit, and I let that shit ride. But I noticed that these comments are still coming as if y'all want a reaction out of me. So I'm gonna give bitches the reaction that they want out of me. It was this comment for me. You make a lot of jokes about Jesus, but you would be offended if I said something about your ancestors. Oh, bitch. Are we talking, is we talking about oranges and apples here? We talking about the same Jesus that was crucified and threw up on the cross for one day? Bitch, yet your ancestors suffered for 400 years. Bitch, they was feeding their babies to alligators, cutting their head off, hanging them from trees. And you think you could talk shit to me about a bitch ass nigga that was crucified one day and y'all sitting up crying about that shit? I don't give a fuck about that nigga. I don't give a fuck about him. Trauma. Bitch, we talk about trauma. Bitch, Jesus can't fuck with the slaves when it comes to motherfucking trauma. Fuck you talking about weak ass bitch. You done let this world brainwash your black ass into being one of them white people. The very motherfucker that gave you the book, dumbass bitch. Fuck make you think they gave you the motherfucking key out and these the very motherfuckers didn't want you to do nothing. Read, write, think nothing. You was a slave to them. You still a slave to them to this day, which is why your bitch ass still crying about thank God. Weak ass bitch. You can't never compare my motherfucking ancestors to your bitch ass Jesus, bitch. Y'all better learn not to fuck with me, bitch, because I take it there. Imagine having all this motherfucking freedom in the world now. You still worshiping the same motherfucking Jesus they gave to slaves, you weak ass bitch. You ain't even mentally broke out the cycle yet. Here y'all motherfuckers ain't free. Y'all still mentally bondage to that shit right through that motherfucking religion shit, you weak ass bitch. How the fuck the slave and the slave master worshiping the same motherfucking God? It don't even make logical sense. You don't even got logical sense about your dumb ass. Bitch, I eat one of you hoes the fuck up. Dumbass, weak ass bitch. You couldn't have thought that your captor gave you the motherfucking way out, bitch. You still ain't out. Fuck you talk about, nigga. Y'all still bottom of the totem pole with your black ass. Shut the fuck up before I get to going on your bitch ass. And yo, Jesus, bitch. Bitch, like I said, y'all walk around on Easter saying that he has risen. He ain't rose nowhere. I ain't seen him yet. Fuck you talk about. That's why I said, what the fuck happened? What happened to him the second time? Bitch, I stand on saying that. Y'all the same motherfucker swear he died, got crucified. He's dead. Then he's risen. Where the fuck he at?
Well, Jesus is alive and has risen into heaven. Jesus ain't dead.
No, he is
According to the
alive, and
story.
he is alive, and the heaven that he's a resident to is Negro's mind. That's the heaven that he's in our minds. I mean,
Lord,
you know what? Just listening to that, listening to that, sister, I was like, no, what is? No, all of that was, all of the bitch and all that shit wasn't necessary. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, I apologize.
But
I apologize, bro. I'm sorry.
Because I was kind of confused. Like, what is? Because see, all the things that she was saying was making legitimate points. You know what I'm saying?
So let me
I
show
know
you
what somebody was supposed to be saying to her. It was all legitimate points. With outside all the cussing and all the nastiness. But
let me show you because
All right,
he wasn't necessarily talking to her specifically, but she responded to a bunch of subverted Negroes. You know what I'm saying?
Cross with nails.
This is what she was responding to. Stuff like this.
Right? So yeah.
They nailed my mans to a cross with nails. They put a thorn crown on my man's head. They made him carry a 300-pound cross. A 300-pound cross. Not for a mile, not for two. They made my man walk. Whipped him while he's carrying the cross. Whipped him while he had.
And you know what? I ain't gonna play him because he keeps stopping it. So I'll play this young sister again. And then we'll go back on just to give you but you kind of see the point though. Damn, now it's freezing up. All right, let me see.
Why didn't he let him pass away and just take him to heaven that way? Huh? If eternal.
Multiple times. And you.
All right, here you go, my brother.
Knowing that that's not the path they want. You have.
Damn, hold on, my bad.
Why did God? Right. But what we're not going to do is downplay what my ancestors went through.
And what we not finna do is downplay what my God went through. We just agree to things because they sound true. But let's put things side by side of what Jesus went through and what the slaves went through. Imagine you came to save the whole world and the whole world hates you. That mental abuse is too much already to take in. Then you have to watch people pick the path that they want, knowing that that's not the path they want. You have to watch them get deceived. As Jesus, you watching them get deceived. That's like you got a little brother and your little brother got a girlfriend and you telling the little brother, hey bro, she just deceiving you, bro, and he don't care. Imagine how you feel. You want him to come out of that.
Imagine how I feel
That's
right
how
now,
Jesus
bro.
felt multiple times.
That's how I feel
You
right
wanna sit
now.
up there and
listen to this foolishness.
I ain't gonna play it no more because I played it already. But that's what she was.
Hey,
You see why
look
she
here, man.
cussing
Let's
now?
go. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go and get into it, man. Let's go and get into it. Okay. Like, well, one thing that'll get your ass whooped fast is go and tell the black folks about Jesus. Talking to them about telling them Jesus ain't real and stuff. That even though, I mean, man, we know, man, Jesus was a fairy tale. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't real. But it's been ingrained in our people's minds so bad So I mean, for so long, man, that we actually believe that shit. We actually believe that there's a man sitting out there in the middle of the sky named God. You know what I'm saying? Some old gray-head
In the
honky
middle
out there
of the
sitting there.
sky.
And rather we want to call him black, say black it up. It's the same. The ideology is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? We could make him black and everything, but it's still the same thing. And that shit has had such a devastating effect on the minds of black people, of African people all over this planet, man. And not just to pick on the Christian, but Islam too. Both of those religions are from the pit of hell to me. You know what I'm saying? It's from the pit of hell. It came straight from hell to me. And the Hebrew, the Jew, that shit did too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, it's so sometimes it gets frustrated, man. So I agree with what I'm saying. How in the hell you worship the same gods your oppressor do, your enslaver do, the motherfucker that did all this shit to you? You talk about what Jesus went through, nigga. I can just tell you the story of Jesse Washington. I'll tell you the story of Mary Turner. They went through more shit than what y'all describing he went through. You know what I'm saying? You talking about they nailed him to a motherfucking tree or to a cross or whatever with nails in his hand and all that shit, man. Jesse Washington, they lit this man on fire and roasted him alive. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, they stopped it 4-5 times. You know what I'm saying? Lit him on fire, put him out, lit him back on fire, put him out, lit him back on fire, put him out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that wasn't shit when he went through hell. Hell, he suffered for a couple of hours or whatever, and it was over with. But they tortured the hell out of our ancestors, man, out of black men and women. And I ain't even talking about just in slavery. I'm talking about it. There are people who are still alive now who was children then when this shit was still going on in the United States. You know what I'm saying? In the 50s, in the 40s, and stuff like that. We ain't got to go back 200 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I had members of my family who were members of a lynch mob. Who were victims of a lynch mob. And plenty of us do. Plenty of us do. And we heard the stories growing up. My great aunt used to tell us about it, man, how the shit they did. You know what I'm saying? Cutting the man's testicles off and all that shit and making him eat it. And all that shit. Gouging their eyes out, slow torture them. All of this old foolishness, man, we need to get over this mess, man. I hopefully one day we get over it. I don't know, it might take another 400-500 years. I don't know. But one day we're gonna get over these Abrahamic religions, all this old bullshit. I could just, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings or step on people's toes or think I'm talking to them or whatever. What I'm saying, but we need to get over this Abrahamic bullshit, man. We need to get over this, man. Because this shit is really, really fucked our mentality up, man.
Yeah, I'll play this at the end too. I played this before because it was like the 4 stages of ideological subversion. You know what I'm saying? And we have definitely been subverted for sure. But just to go on to the point, right? So I still want to talk about another thing, and I'll keep going right until then because this is like
Kanye
one of the
West
last
was
things
named
here.
as the
So
headliner
check this out, right?
for all 3 days of the festival. Now, of course, here in London,
I see how it is.
arguably one of the largest sponsorships for the Wireless Festival that happens every year in London, has officially announced that they are withdrawing their sponsorship after Kanye West was named as the headliner for all.
We talking about the chosen people of the book. You know what I'm saying? The shysters, you know what I'm saying? The real shysters.
3 days of the festival. Now, according to BBC News, the Prime Minister of the UK said earlier that he felt like it was, quote unquote, deeply concerning that Kanye West was scheduled and chosen to be the headliner for the festival. Now, as you all know, Kanye West has made many anti-Semitic statements that has caused him to lose sponsorships such as Adidas and Balenciaga in the past. And in January, he wrote an apology, not only apologizing to the Jewish community, but apologizing to the Black community for some of the statements that he made while he said he was struggling with his mental illness. But it seems like Pepsi is not willing to take the risk, having Kanye West as a headliner and potentially.
So you see, right? When it comes to something that they don't agree with, they're going to be like, well, we're going to affect you financially. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to have you open and like if you say the N-word, we're gonna be like, well, it's okay. You can still headline the BET festival. You know what I'm saying? No, they don't give a damn what it is, whether they care about it or not. They could be like, I'm religious, I'm spooked out, or they can be like, I don't believe in none of that. But they still gonna stand on this shyster thing, which is a religion in itself. Because if you just ask them, like, can there be black Jewish people, they will have to say yes. So if there was black ones, that would mean there would have to be white ones. So it's not based off race, is it? You know what I'm saying? But that's just a whole nother thing. But you see, right? And even when somebody like their own, like Larry David, he said something off code, and they was like, "Hey, we gonna stand on this. Like, you gonna apologize." You know what I'm saying? And especially you Negroes, you know what I'm saying? You can't even be like stacked chips like Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? They gonna blank that out in the song, but you can be like, "Yeah, I shoot an N-word with a 4.5 and all this, and do a drive by." And guess what? You know what I'm saying? You get constant airplay, you know what I'm saying? But they're gonna stand on this, you know what I'm saying? Where they're not gonna give him his stuff here, you know. But even though he was like, oh yeah, he
Ye,
gotta hit
formerly
the
known as
yes
Kanye
sir
West,
thing.
is apologizing again for anti-Semitic rhetoric.
I'm so
In a
sorry, sir.
full-page Wall Street Journal ad, he addressed an open
Not the
letter
Wall Street
to those
Journal.
I've hurt.
Keep that in mind.
Bipolar disorder,
Where does Wall
saying a
Street
manic
come from?
episode in early 2025 fueled poor judgment. Ye wrote that he gravitated toward the swastika and sold T-shirts bearing it.
This fool had a black KKK thing on his damn head, you know what I'm saying? But guess who he apologized? Sir, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to the Holocaust Museum and
Hey, boy, let me kind of get in, jump in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's I mean, okay, all right. Let me see how I'm gonna say this, man. I mean, well, hey, first let me just say this here. Okay, what I'm about to say don't have nothing to do with Forecast Radio Podcast. Man, fuck them goddamn Jews.
He got
That's how I feel
everything to
about
do.
it. Fuck every last one of them motherfuckers. I hate them bitches, the bastards. Okay, what I'm saying is this right here, though. The point I want to make, the reason why Kanye got to apologize. You know why? Because it's money tied to them. You know what I'm saying? This where you get your money from. See, the problem is you could get up and say what you want to say when you got your own money, when you got your own thing. You know what I'm saying? But when they paying you, when they give you the money, giving you your money, when you make your money by making your living from them, you got to bow down to them if you want to keep your shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just think about Nick Cannon. Look at Nick Cannon. He was already a damn fool anyway in the first place. But I'm saying, but look how they did him. Oh, you want to keep that show, Nick? You want to keep your popularity, keep your money. You go back. Hey, you go back and take some more sensitivity class and everything. You apologize for that shit you said, the so-called anti-Semitic shit. I don't know what the hell that is anyway. If they tell me I'm anti-Semitic, I'm gonna say, what you mean? I hate Arabs. You know what I'm saying? I don't like them either, but I hate Arabs because
I hate black people in Sudan.
You know what I'm saying? I hate Arabs. But I'm saying, I mean, this a power dynamic thing, man. This because when you got your own shit, and you don't depend on them for nothing, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to apologize a goddamn thing. You ain't got to watch your motherfucking tongue because you got your own shit. You know what I'm saying? I make my money from the black community. You know what I'm saying? I don't need your white money. I don't need none of that bullshit. And see, that's leading into another thing where I want to go into. See, this is why I'm saying it's so important. No, okay, check it out. Forecast. This is very important. Check this out. It's the reason why now you see all these diaspora wars where you see this, I ain't no African, and and African Americans don't have no culture and all this old stuff here. This back and forth between all these black people in America, black people in the Caribbean, black people on the continent, on the motherland. This is the reason why. You know why? This is what it is. If them niggas ever stop that bullshit and get together and start working with each other, we done. We over with. You know what I'm saying? We over with, our power over with. We can no longer exploit them on the continent for their resources and their mineral wealth and all that shit. We can no longer exploit the techno skills and the talent and everything that black people in America have, black people in Jamaica, black people in Haiti and all over the diaspora. We can no longer exploit them. We got to keep them fighting each other. Now just imagine if Kanye had a company or any brother, now I don't want to say Kanye because I don't like that fool anyway, but let's say any artist, male or female, black artist, male or female, if they had a business, a company, a corporation or whatever, And it was based, and all of their money came from black people in America, or black people in the Caribbean, or Central South America, or the diaspora, or from Africa. What in the fuck can white folks do? Well, we gonna do this and do that. You can't do nothing to fuck with their money because their money come from their people. You know what I'm saying? We got our own industry. We got our own motion picture industry, our own music industry. We don't have to depend on millions of white fans that like our records over here, for us to make money, to have that big money, to be a 50 Cent or be a Beyonce or somebody. You know what? We get it from our own people. And see, that's the problem right there. You know what I'm saying? That's why these Negroes got to bow down, because guess who paying who give them their paycheck? Guess who giving them their money? Guess who control the record label that they own? You know what I'm saying? Now, what if this record label was controlled by a Black American group, or by a Jamaican group, a Haitian group, or a Nigerian group, a Ghanaian group? What if it was under our control? You know what I'm saying? We distributed the records. No, we did all of that stuff there. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a totally different thing. No, you wouldn't have to kiss nobody's ass then. But see, that's the thing is, it's a power game. And that's why these handful of old hook-nosed, bacon-eating motherfuckers could do the shit that they do. It make these Negroes, these weak Negroes bow down. But guess what? Because they control the purse strings. And that's the point. We don't control our own goddamn purse string. We don't have our own institutions. We don't have our own industries and business and shit. You know what I'm saying? Our own teeth. I'll make our own pictures and stuff. We gotta put some old hunky as the Exomo Jew as the executive producer or the co-executive producer, something like that, or who distribute our records or our movies, or put our movies in the studios. No, we ain't got our own motherfucking studios. No, Magic tried to do it. He can't do it by himself. You know what I'm saying? We need other people to do the same thing. See, that's the whole thing. It's the power dynamic, man. It's because of the money, that they got the money, and that they, and like what Koku used to always say about the barrel maker. You know what I'm saying? That when you talk about the barrel maker, you know what I'm saying? The barrel maker call the shots. You know what I'm saying? We got to start being the motherfucking barrel maker, and you won't see this shit no more. That's all I'm saying, man.
Well, look, you make a lot of good points, right? And I'm gonna cover everything that you said over this last little stretch of what we talk about as we wrap it up, right? But just as a response real quick for what you said, in the words of Jesus, why have thou forsaken me? Is all I can say, my brother.
All I got to say, you Jesus, you ain't never did a goddamn thing for me or my people. But watch yourself.
But no, I'm saying it though.
The hell with Jesus.
No, I'm saying it now. I'm taking Jesus' words. I'm saying, why you forsaking me now? I'm just saying, I'm the nicest one since Jesus.
I don't believe you no more, Jesus.
It's me now. I'm saying it. Why have thou forsaken me? All right, no, I'm talking especially Kanye. He's forsaken me. He's forsaken me like crazy. Now keep in mind, he went to the Wall Street Journal to apologize, right? So we want to keep Wall Street in mind, y'all. All right. And to some of what you were saying, because we're going to address everything that you was just laying out there, my brother, as we go along here,
To the Jewish community, even to the UK. He was like, I'll talk to all the Jewish people for an apology. That hasn't happened with the black community at all. We acting like there's not
damn
a whole other reason for niggas not to fuck with Kanye. Other than just, the Jews is doing conspiracy to keep a black man down.
Mind you.
But my nigga, what are we talking about?
White supremacy has run such a damage on us because we so fucked up as a community that it really does not matter what our black celebrities or influential people that are at that level do, because the main thing we're worried about is trying to protect legacy. The thing we were talking about last week with Diddy, right? And how people defend Diddy, people defend R. Kelly, is that one thing is you want to defend their legacy. You want to defend what that person meant to you at a specific point in time. Because at a specific point in time, there wasn't niggas who looked like that making that type of thing. You'll give Kanye the respect of, this is a person who went in the industry and completely changed it. You can give him that. But at that point, we so fucked up as a community that we think we can't have a standard higher than Ye. We think we have to accept that because of, he was the nigga with the pink
and he made $1 billion
graduation. He's the first black billionaire. He got Yeezy.
He was wearing a KKK
But I want to ask
outfit.
y'all, what did Kanye see y'all as? Y'all saw him as this hero. He saw y'all as a nigga buying his shoes.
He don't even be in Chicago.
He don't even be in Chicago. This nigga went to Chicago, then left to go to Europe, and then was with those Europeans talking about how bad niggas are. This is the type of nigga
He
we're
was on
talking
drink?
about. It's like y'all keep running back to the nigga like, oh, yay, you're back. And people like, oh, he apologized. He barely apologized to the black community. He's giving more apologies to the Jewish community, even to the UK. He was like, I'll talk to like, you know, all the Jewish people for like an apology. That hasn't happened with the black community at all.
You don't
Y'all
even be
seem-
in your own
You don't even be in
city.
your own
And look
fucking
what
city.
black people like in our community or who listen to Ye will do. The only reason why they're freaking out like this is because he was being racist against the Jews, or he was saying something about that. You should be freaking out like that because he said something about your black ass too.
Yeah.
He said multiple things about your black ass. He said multiple self-hating things about
Nigga,
you.
White Lives Matter is-
White Lives Matter was it. White Lives Matter was it.
That was
There's
when
not a
the-
music that you could drop
That was
after
when the
that.
line should have been drew in the sand. It wasn't just about a t-shirt, my nigga. Like that was actually when, like, right after George Floyd died.
Yeah, you doubled down with having Candace Owens on it. After Candace Owens made a documentary on why George Floyd didn't actually die of an ear neck. Then you tripled down with saying, yeah, no, George Floyd, yeah, he died from fat. And you didn't say anything. As you say that while this nigga daughter's out there watching, and then you got Lauryn Hill and Erykah Badu posting this nigga. This is the type of
That's
nigga y'all
the
want to
shit.
represent. This nigga said to a little girl father that this nigga deserved to die. And this is God to us. You wearing a KKK outfit to niggas who have put you on a pedestal, to niggas who have bought your clothes, your music,
and black art.
People, you went to Europe and you're still getting the black dollar in a whole different fucking continent.
Yep.
And all you can sit here and say is, I'm sorry. And all these people is in your concert. 80,000 people. Are y'all serious?
Yeah.
Do y'all not want more at all? Do y'all not envision a future more than this nigga?
Candace Owens was on tour with Charlie Kirk talking about how she likes white nationalism.
What
and the
are
only
we
problem with
talking
Hitler
about,
was that he had ambitions outside of Germany.
That's true. I agree with that. Yeah, the problem was he should have had ambitions for all of Europe, you know.
Would have kept it in Germany, we would
But
have
I
been
wasn't there. I don't know what happened.
with him genociding people.
We don't
She
know
said
what
that. Charlie Kirk and them was like, okay. Dave Rubin and them was like, okay. Tucker Carlson and them were like, okay. Kanye West and them were like, okay. Let's all get on this anti-woke, anti-black bandwagon.
You made Nazi merch. It's so
funny that
All right. That's enough. And you also brought up the brother Nick Cannon. I used to defend, like, because I was like, because it's like, and who's a better example would be John Henry Clark, you know what I'm saying? Like, in his twilight years, like, we supposed to be taking care of him, right? So it is important when a black person stands up, right? Because I talked about Sha'Carri Richardson, which I'm going to do at the end, you know, because it probably got messed up. Because she was like, oh, I'm black first. And we dog her out, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm going to show that sister love. I'm a fan of hers, you know what I'm saying? Because of
Make
that.
sure you run that back. I want to see that, man. I didn't see that part about Sha'Carri.
Oh yeah, she broke. So she just won. They don't want to talk. That's why they ain't talking about her. She just won. I'm gonna play it, but I'm also play about why we do this. You know what I'm saying? And so this speaking of Nick Cannon, because you know he was with the
And since
mulatto
you're a
girl,
biracial person who doesn't like identify
Amber
with
Rose, talking
How
about the
are you?
Lord. And now the Democrats is mad because now if you black and you a Democrat, you're supposed to be mad about that. You know. But that was just for the Nick Cannon part. And I don't know if you want to say something. I want to show you something too. Hopefully it come up. But you want to say something?
Oh no, go ahead. What you was gonna do, man, and you know, do that, and then take me back to the Sha'Carri thing.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna end with that because I want that to be the positive thing. All right, so we were speaking about the shysters, you know what I'm saying? We'll end with the shysters, you know what I'm saying?
Selling the slaves. Oh yeah, they forgot to mention all of this in the Rockefeller schools, and people say
Of
that's
course,
not
there's
true.
a white boy. Now, the white boys be trying to separate themselves, but I told you, they're Neanderthal. They got the same Neanderthal blood as this cracker, and they fought each other about all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Spaniards, English, Dutch, British, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
You should read this one. This guy was a rabbi who wrote this one.
And
You know, the
shysters,
term
too.
layaway, that came from when rabbis were selling slaves. Yes. And this has pages and pages of all the auctions and the rabbis selling.
Speaking of the chosen ones of the book, of that book.
Owned a plantation. Yes, all the plantations were ran by the Tiny Hats. 294 enslaved Africans. He was the president of the synagogue. You can just look this stuff up. And what got even deeper is I found Charleston, 1825. That was the original place of the slave marts. And they own the merchants, they own the ships, they own everything. And look at this. Charleston, Tiny Hat, slave traders. Now, since the tiny hats own all the newspapers, if they tried to run away, they'd put an ad up trying to get the slaves back. Then it got deeper when I found out that the tiny hats own the police too. So if people tried to run away.
By the way, what they call George Washington a shyster, they as he call it a tiny hat. No, it's just no different than Hitler or none of them. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh man,
they're
honkies
all the
is
same.
honkies, crackers is
All
crackers,
right,
white
crackers is
folks is white
crackers.
folks.
Right, Neanderthal species is the Neanderthal species. So let's not get lost in that. And he's actually reading a black book here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, not a black book, but you know what I'm saying.
And it's wild because there was only two people who actually spoke up about this. That's why it's hidden from you. And also, when Christopher Columbus came over here, now you understand who Christopher Columbus was. And this is why the tiny hats, the Charzarians.
Yeah, Columbus, he was a shyster. Yes, he was. Yes, he was a shyster.
Christopher Columbus was. And this is why the
But
tiny
let's be real, the shysters threw each other in the ovens, from what I
all these
understand. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? So I can't tell you. You know, let's be real. But and look, now you have to do it in two parts, right? Because remember, where Kanye went to go apologize was the Wall Street. Um, he had printed out a full page ad in the Wall Street Journal, right? So how did the Wall Street come up? Right? So did Jewish people create Wall Street, first of all? Because we can't ask it, did Jewish people create, you know what I'm saying, the slave system of like putting black people on sale, like finance, like you finance a car and stuff. So um yeah, German Jewish immigrants who got expelled from wherever they was and went to the Dutch Netherlands and all that stuff, and then they came to New Amsterdam. All right, so they played a vital role in building all of that stuff. Joseph Siegelman or whatever, the Liam brothers, Marcus Goldman, major investment banks like Goldman Sachs, Kuhn, you know that name better than I do, but provided essential capital for American industry, particularly the railroads. So Jewish industries, well, like I just said, so these bankers particularly prominent in the late 1900s and early 20th century, or 1800s or 1900s, bridged European capital with American industry, financing companies like General Motors, Sears, and Macy's. Because they were often excluded from commercial banking and traditional Protestant financial networks. Many Jewish financiers focus on investment banking and corporate financing, right? So what they did was basically put black people on sale for finance, you know what I'm saying? So then you have to say, so they helped create Wall Street, right? So then what did they use to create Wall Street? Of course, yeah, well, um, let me see. All right, so yeah, they basically did that, you know what I'm saying?
Was producing over 4 million bales of the authorities. This is sold Southern cotton, and Wall Street firms arranged the export deals. Cotton became part of global trade, and institutions in the North were involved in keeping it in circulation. The reach of cotton money was vast. Nearly every major financial institution in New York during the 1800s was connected in some way to the cotton trade. The New York Marine Insurance Company, for example.
See, when they had this quote unquote civil war, it was about money, right? The North wanted in on all of that money the South was making. You know what I'm saying? Not to stop it. They just wanted in. They was like, that's why they always be like states' rights and all that BS, you know what I'm saying? It's because the South was like, no, we should be able to keep our damn money, you know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, they wanted to vote, so they did the 3/5 thing. But they also, the North was like, yo, we want in on that. You know what I'm saying? We want to increase your taxes. You know what I'm saying? That's why they always be, it was about taxes. Well, yeah, because you're getting free slave labor, but it's not like the North was opposed to it. You know what I'm saying? So they had a lot of dealings because they could finance it and stuff like that. Okay, RBG in the back. Let me bring RBG up. You still there, my brother? Anthony?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Okay, well I said RBG was in the back, but he ain't back here. All right, here we go. All right, my computer just freezing up. Yo, what
Man,
up, my
what's up,
brother?
people? What's up, Forecast? How you doing, man?
Nah, how you doing, my brother?
I'm
What's up,
good.
brother? How you doing, man?
I want to add on to, you know what I'm saying, this whole early what am I trying to say, America. You know, when I've said this before, I might have said this on Shoot the Breeze. You know, when they talk about the Pilgrims, right? You know, they refer to them folks that was in Jamestown, them English, but as we just hearing, like, a lot of them peoples came over here, them hats came over here. Now, when you think about a pilgrim, you think about someone who goes on a pilgrimage. Now, in a modern context, when people go on a pilgrimage, where is they going? Oh, they might go to Mecca, or oh, they might go to Jerusalem, right? When the Crusaders went, they were pilgrims who went to Jerusalem. Them pilgrims wasn't them Englishmen. They use as a coverall for just the wave of Jewish people expelled from England, from Europe in general. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Y'all catch me?
Yeah, I got you. We listen.
Yeah, I'm just
Oh,
saying, like,
my bad. I was muted. No, I would say this, my brother. I would say this, right? The Pilgrims were particularly they call them like the religious persecution. A lot of them were the Christian persecuted, the ones that was in jail, and they came to like places like Pennsylvania and stuff like that. They were the ones who actually legalized selling children and stuff like that, and they became the ones because the Pennsylvania colony was different from the Virginia colony, but they were competing. You know what I'm saying? And the Jewish was a lot of them went to different places. They was involved in all of it because they went to everywhere, you know. But most
yeah.
of them went to the Dutch, and when they came to like New Amsterdam, that's where a lot of the Jewish merchants were, you know what I'm saying? And that's where they kind of made that. So that's why I would say about the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims was like mostly Pennsylvania and
No.
stuff like that, you
But
know.
there's subtleties, right? In pilgrim, when they talk about persecution, now from the Jewish perspective, they were persecuted in Europe, and they had to flee, right? What I'm saying is that when they say the Pilgrims, they denote the English, but what the real pilgrimage was them. I believe it's a coverall for them people. That's all I'm saying. Because you know, all up in New England, Hartford, Connecticut, Rhode Island, I know that's where some of the founding places. That's where the Jewish houses were. They'll sell. I know about that in the Northeast. I get it.
Yeah. Hey, RBG, check this out. I
Yeah, a
mean,
lot of them came in. Like the thing about the shysters, they were shysters. They came in under different titles. So, but a lot of them, when they got to America, first off, was like the Dutch. You know what I'm saying? So, like when you think of the Dutch, most of them was the shysters, and the Pilgrims. They was more so Christians, though. They was like they would be more of the MAGA people. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if you can call them the MAGA, but they because they all the same, but they would be more of the like the ones in Pennsylvania, you know what I'm saying? Like they the hypocrites, you know what I'm saying? Like they'd be like, "Oh, we believe in Jesus," but then they was like enslaving children, you know what I'm saying? Like and it's different from the colony that they had in Virginia, although it's no different, but they are different. You know what I'm saying? Like they competed. Europeans competed, just like you had the Spanish in Florida and the French with like Louisiana, and Louisiana was most of like America at the time. So like I don't mean to like your point is true. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mean to be like a stickler on like the stuff, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Am I right, my brother Anthony?
What I was just going to say was this forecast. Okay, no.
He
I
might
mean,
not be there. What you want to say, my brother RBG?
We must be. Oh, something must be wrong.
Yo, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I hear you.
Yeah, you was about to say something?
Who, me?
Yeah, you was about to say
No.
something?
I'm with it. I just think that what winds up happening is that the Jewish influence in the early colonies is intentionally held out. I mean, this is why they call this shit Rockefeller education, because I mean, this, you know, they don't want to really let you know on everything. That's what I'm saying, is that I get it. Like, yeah, everyone was persecuted, but they don't want to let you know about why them other people was hurt. That I'm just saying, there's always a shift. There's always a shading out of information, slant. You know what I'm saying, about things, especially with the past. People talk about Judeo-Christian, and it's like, well, what do you mean Judeo-Christian? All I hear about is English, Irish, Scottish. Who's Judeo in this? And then all of a sudden, if you're not really paying attention, yeah, I mean, it's like, again, Judah P. Benjamin. You know what I'm saying? Was that vice president of the Confederacy and all that? I get it. Yeah, it's not about, well, you know, they'll say, well, I mean, because it's just a sense of faith. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying, you could sit here and say that it's an Ashkenazi thing, but it's not just an ethnic thing. It's not an ethnobiological thing. I mean, you get people who are like bona fide white people who want to play that game and convert. You know what I'm saying? That's how it gets tricky. So I get it.
But no, yeah, I definitely understand your point. And the only reason why I say that is because you're right. They, like, what the shysters do is they don't say shysters. They say Dutch. They say the British. They say Pilgrim and stuff like that. But they leave out that they happen to be like Christopher Columbus, or, you know what I'm saying, they'd be like Spaniard, but he was a shyster, though. You know what I'm saying? And they would intentionally blur the lines because European. I
say yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Europeans intentionally blur the lines because they all do this thing where they separate themselves. Like, you'll see white bitches do it. They'll be like, oh, white men. Or you'll see like white dudes be like, oh, the Jewish. Or you'll see the Jewish be like, oh, well, no, it was MAGA. But no, it's all of you. You know what I'm saying? You all have this Neanderthal gene, right? That you practice this Greek culture, right? It's all of you. That's why I try to be like, yo, it ain't no lesser of two evils. But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Christopher Columbus was a Jew from Genoa. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to John Henry Clark, a Jew from Genoa, Italy, right? That's why you might see them Italians talk about, you know, we want Christopher Columbus Day. You don't hear Spanish people saying that. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. And also, well, yeah, we see Wall Street, but then also, and you still there, my brother Anthony?
Yeah, I'm here.
I don't know if he can hear or if he fell off or something.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can
But
hear
yeah,
you.
also, yeah, I was gonna show like their role in blackface and all of that stuff. You know, let's see, Jewish and Irish, of course, not to leave the good old Irish out.
Because of the legacy, it's like,
Oh, maybe I can't hear him because I can't hear the video.
As soon as I saw him put on
Can
the
you hear him?
face,
RBG?
I thought, when
well,
I can hear the video. I can hear you.
Oh, have Anthony been talking this whole time? I couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and come back in, y'all.
Yeah. Hey, RBG, what I was just saying, though, man, you was spot on, bro. Because like a lot of times, especially like from the Spaniards and the Portuguese, a lot of those people were Jewish. How you have like the one you referred to in Connecticut, well, you know, this man's name was Aaron Lopez. Now, you know, Aaron Lopez is a Spanish name, or it could be a Portuguese name. You know, they sometimes interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was one of the biggest slave traders in New England. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and he had an insurance company that like insured, the ships and everything. His ships went back and forth to West Africa, bringing enslaved Africans and cargo and all kind of stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, man. And he was one of the founders of one of them universities, or was it Brown University or something like that? But like as far as like when you was talking about the Pilgrims, I ain't gonna say a lot. I don't know how many, but some of those people were Jewish people. You know what I'm saying? Who the so-called Pilgrim? Because if you look at it, go back to Barbados and to the Caribbean colonies, the English colonies in the Caribbean. The first people they bought there were Jewish people. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of Jewish people. The oldest synagogue in the Western Hemisphere was in Barbados. You know what I'm saying? Now this was in the 1500s somewhere in the mid to late 1500s, early 1600s. You know what I'm saying? And then like in the Portuguese, when they first went to those islands like the Cabo Verde and Sao Tome and Principe, those islands off the coast of Africa, which they later on bought enslaved African people there. Well, the first one was those Spaniards, those Spanish Jews, those Portuguese Jews that they expelled, after during the Inquisition, when in 1492, when the Spaniards finally regained the Iberian Peninsula.
A lot of that
exiled them. Yeah.
Like a lot of the expelled, they didn't really get kicked out. They just converted. They just played Catholic. They would call them the crypto Jews. I want to say who said to call them the crypto Jews. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, that they publicly, professed and acted out, but they had their heritage that they kind of kept on to, I know.
And look at RBG. One of the most dangerous ones that they had was this. He was a Spanish Jew. Well, when the Moors got expelled and sent back to North Africa, to Morocco, he went with them. Okay, and it was before that had happened before him. What I'm saying, but he was a descendant of those Spanish Jews who went along with the Moors, from out of Spain. And what happened is he brokered the deal between the Sultan of Morocco, the ruler of Morocco, and the Queen of England. I think it may have been Charlotte. It was in 1591. They got together, and they got together. This enterprise was them together, working together. England and Morocco invading West Africa, the hinterland inside inner West Africa, to defeat the Songhai Empire at the Battle of Tundibi. You know what I'm saying? And the man who led the mission was Spanish Jew named Judar Pasha. You know what I'm saying? And this opened up the interior of West Africa to the slave trade with the destruction of the Songhai Empire. Because see, they had been limited to the coast. But with the destruction of the Songhai Empire, which controlled the interior.
And what year did that happen?
That's how they got the slave trade.
What year did that happen?
In 1591.
Okay.
1591 at the Battle of Tundibi. You can read about it in detail. It's been written in detail of how the Sultan of Morocco and the Queen of England, I think it was Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken, I had to go back and check that. But it was in 1591 how they got together to defeat the Songhai Empire to open up West Africa to the slave trade. Yes, exactly.
How do you spell that?
What you need to spell?
The battle of the what? Battle of
Tundibi. Tundibi is Tondibi. The Battle of Tundibi, 1591. Okay.
1591. All right, I'm looking that up right now.
Yeah, and the Spanish Jew who led the Moroccan forces, his name was Judar Pasha. Judar Pasha, who was the leader of the force.
Yes.
Yeah.
Affirmative.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say my bad earlier too, because I didn't know I couldn't even hear you earlier. I didn't know you was talking. I couldn't hear you talking.
And yes, and like RBG was saying, a lot of those once you have to you did too. You had to look at the names. See that they disguised those names. Someone was Dutch names, or someone was English names, or someone was Portuguese and Spanish. Because like me and RBG were just talking about Aaron Lopez. Now you'd have thought he was some Spaniard or Portuguese, but he was a Jew. And he was the biggest slave trader on the East Coast in the New England area at that time. You know what I'm saying? And you had many other who, like you said, you can look at the connection between New York State, the Netherlands, New York State, and the Dutch Guyana and Curacao, and all that they had a whole enterprise going on. You know what I'm saying? In the trading of Africans. In the trading of Africans. And they had that financial thing too going on, with the Dutch West India Company.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they went on to go on and finance like England and help them get into it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
England
you see them on the continent.
the party.
Yeah, you see them on the continent later on, and especially in Southern Africa, with names like De Beers, the Oppenheimer, De Beers, them. You know what I'm saying? No, these are these Dutch German, no, these Dutch people, Dutch Jews, and everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was a whole company. It was a whole. I mean, it was an international network, man. This didn't just start now, man. It's been going on. No, for the last 500 years. Yep.
Yeah, and that's just the shysters part of it. And that's not too, and the reason why I don't talk about it as much is because y'all tend to like want to like find a white savior, and none of them, they all have the Neanderthal gene. And the reason why I can have that conversation with my brother Anthony, because he understands, like, yeah, like, who cares what you call them, you know what I'm saying? Like, they all are Neanderthals. So and just like, yo, the Jewish role in blackface and stuff like that, I was gonna say that, you know,
It was already becoming not PC, but still being used by certain people in this time period.
So Warren, you've
all right.
It was still a moment of Butterfly McQueen and.
All right, and it's not just them; it was them and the Irish, of course. You know what I'm saying? The Irish. Go ahead.
I wanted to get on Kanye because the whole Kanye thing, like Kanye, man, he had that song out called "Cousins." I'm done. I'm like he's definitely on hard pause because I can't do it. Like at this point, you keep on putting yourself in precarious situations. I'm not going to block bullshit for you if you put yourself in precarious situations. You know what I'm saying? If you splashing around in the water and you drowning. No, I might throw your life forward. I'm not gonna go out there and get you. You going to get your own composure about that. All that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I've been debanked and all that. I mean, you know that. I mean, and then I can't do anything about that. It's just I recognize, I see it, I say and I keep it pushing. I can't. Kanye is a different animal, man. Like when they give you the money, then you don't know how to act because it's like you a billionaire, but it's like it's kind of self-made, but kind of not. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's hard to sympathize with Kanye. He puts himself in precarious situations. That's what I wanted to say.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can go on tour with him and apologize to the Jews with him, and then maybe you'll get to know why you apologizing. I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Y'all, my bad, y'all. I don't mean to be talking. I be sounding like I'm talking to y'all, but I'm talking to black people as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be no disrespect. I hope y'all don't be taking what I say as disrespect to y'all personally, because I respect y'all brothers, and I'm glad y'all came on here. And I want to show you this, you know, because this is the point, right, of why Kanye talks like he talks. You know what I'm saying? And why things are like they are, and why I even called this what I call it.
Press agency of the Soviet Union. It turns out that this is also a front for the KGB. He escaped to the West in 1970 after becoming totally disgusted with the Soviet system. Before about ideological subversion. Spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets use the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the slow process, which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite...
Now, just think about this from your perspective, not an American's perspective, but as a black person, you know.
Of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the
Y'all call it white
of
supremacy.
at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where
that you demoralize your damn self.
Previously, not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans.
Beyond Christopher Columbus' wildest dreams, he didn't think he would get a holiday when he discovered America.
Thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned
Well, he probably
before,
did.
exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it.
If I take you down to your local jail cell and you see nothing but Negroes in there who in there for nonviolent drug offenses, and then go to your neighborhood and see a white bitch running down the street when what used to be a hood you scared to run down because you're talking about some thugs in there, you know what I'm saying? You still wouldn't believe me. It's crazy.
Until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military crashes his balls, then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, it doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation. It's what matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can
Imagine
see
600, 700
in some areas,
years.
in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now.
Get Donald Trump ass in this bitch.
With a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely.
Indefinitely, y'all coons forever. Y'all done.
When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in 1968, Comrade Brezhnev said, now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized. This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with the benevolent dictators like Walter Mondale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. Your leftists,
you're never going to get no wall.
Professors and all these beautiful civil rights defenders, they are instrumental in the process of the subversion. Only to
you hear that, Democrat? I'm sorry, clone ass brothers.
Destabilize the nation. When their job is completed, they are not needed anymore. They know too much.
It's over.
Some of them, when they get disillusioned, when they see that Marxist-Leninists come to power, obviously they get offended. They think that they will come to power. That will never happen, of course. They will be lined up against the wall and shot.
So all that cooning, all that clone activities, and you think, oh, I'm American, I'm gonna be a part of it. They're gonna line you up against the wall and shoot you. Well, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna put you in the work in the fields. You know what I'm saying? Say you homeless, or arrest his ass and put him on the chain gang. That's what they're gonna do.
May turn into the most bitter enemies of Marxist-Leninists when they come to power. And that's what happened in Nicaragua. You remember most of these former Marxist-Leninists were either put to prison or one of them split, and now he's working against Sandinistas. It happened in Grenada when Maurice Bishop was already a Marxist. He was executed by a new Marxist who was more Marxist than this Marxist. Same happened in Afghanistan when first there was Taraki, he was killed by Amin, then Amin was killed by Babrak Karmal with the help of KGB. Same happened in Bangladesh when Mujibur Rahman, very pro-Soviet leftist, was assassinated by his own Marxist-Leninist military comrades. It's the same pattern everywhere. The time...
In the words of a good brother, everywhere, what is that? Everywhere in the world, the same song. All around the world, the same song, you know. But y'all brothers want to say something?
Man, I mean, cause it's like I see what he's saying. Like, I get why people want to like just like be empowered, because people do that to their own people. This is all about, you know, getting the masses and getting them confused. And he said how long the processes take. So people who want to sit back and try to have 20-year plans of demoralization. Because here's the thing, morals and morale, they go hand in hand. If you have bad morals, if your morals, you know, are just bad, you know what I'm saying, robbing, raping, and killing and all that, like, then your morale is going to be terrible. And so you have lawlessness, you have just recklessness, you know what I'm saying, all kinds of new stuff out there and people don't even test it, you know what I'm saying, it's, you know, precarious stuff again. And when that happens and there's just no feedback from the system, because the system keeps pumping out stuff just to get people, you know what I'm saying, agitated and just, you know what I'm saying, you know, like, you know what I'm saying, like no food, gas lines and stuff, you know what I'm saying, just jerking at the people from all kinds of directions, playing with the levers of power, you know what I'm saying, just like trying to pry bar, you know, playing left wing, right wing, and trying to, you know, get people confused. And he's saying, what was it, the demoralization, the destabilization. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying, at that point, everyone's don't know here from there. All of a sudden, false flaggery, you know what I'm saying, that's crisis, and the people, you know, it's just like with I'm telling you, with in this country, you know what I'm saying, the way it affects the world, it's just like they really, I think one of the things I've heard, what was it, fucking one of them peoples, Brzezinski or one of them was talking about like, oh, we want to make the Soviet Union and the United States. That was one of his goals, to have a more closer together in relationships. A lot of this stuff, you know, we talk about the Marxism, just for like a lot of that, you know, nonsense, gobbledygook. It's like that on purpose. It talks in circles. It's like you gotta study. You're supposed to study that shit for 20 years to make it make sense. You just keep on reading books and listen to lectures. You're 40 years old talking about, you know what I'm saying, you know, the proletariat. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, that's a lot of that. You're not worried about just basically the people well-being, you know, social networks, strengthening them, understanding long-term marital bonds, family bonds, industries, you know what I'm saying? It's strong stuff, you know what I'm saying, that keeps nations going, you know what I'm saying? It's, people been, you know what I'm saying, good stratification of, not stratification, but diversification of labor and all that. Make sure everyone has a job. There's always work to do. We all know what needs to be done. We all know what can be done. It's not like, you know, everyone's confused about what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, pick your level. You know, if it's the hard work, you know what I'm saying, come on, let's go ahead and do this hard work. If you're not up to it, okay, let's do some more medium level, but everyone has work to do, you know what I'm saying? Everyone eats, you know what I'm saying? Everyone has good clothes, you know what I'm saying? People still learning, you know what I'm saying? Don't stagnate, because everyone knows what time it is in a more ideal, more, you know, natural sense, you know, when with strong families and you know, when family reunions come together, you know what I'm saying? People ain't seen each other for all year. People know how to act. You know, old people, make sure old people, the babies, all right, the men folk, the women folks, you know what I'm saying? Everyone got work to do. Let's be on our task, you know what I'm saying? Make sure no strangers come through here, all right? Hey, we just get this money going for the next family reunion, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. But like all this proletariatism and, you know, I know that's, and You know what I'm saying? I know it's bullshit from a black perspective. I know it's bullshit because Mark said, I saw that was in Uruguay, I think. Thank God for Marin Rani. I think he said Marx was like he did something about the odiousness of the nigger. So I'm like, oh, that's how you feel? Like I don't need to hear anything about your gobbledygook. I don't need to try to like hear it from like sideways to try to refer to it really. Like John Henrik Clarke says, Marx said. I don't care about what Mark said. That's just me. So I'm naturally inoculated from a lot of this because I know it's mumble jumble. You know, you ain't got to worry about a lot of this. A lot of this is mumble jumble. I know it's mumble jumble. That's the thing. Is Marxism don't mean nothing to me. That's what I'm adding on to.
And I'll say this, and before I pass it to my brother Anthony too. Well, Mark said, well, the lowest denomination of this, or the lowest one or two rungs of society, which would be you Negroes, should be exterminated because it won't work without you. He did say that if you look it up, but oh, you want to say something, my brother?
No, that okay. I'm gonna look up that. I gotta keep my eye on that. Cool. I believe you. I believe you.
Look it up. Like say how he feel about the lowest part of the society that's gonna bring them down or whatever. And that would classify as, guess who is in the lowest part of that society is Negroes, of course. But yeah, you already know he referred to you as. And the thing about why they call them Jews is because they think that they're mulattoes and for some reason, you know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother story. So, but yo, you want to say something, my brother Anthony?
All I wanted to say was, yeah, just listening to this guy, man, who I don't know who he is, but just listening at him. I mean, okay, well, he talk about everything with the about what the Soviet communism and Marxism and all of the shit that they do and how they try to twist it. But I didn't hear him damn time talking about American white nationalism. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
all of the subversive bullshit that they do. You know what I'm saying? Every day we get up in class, as children and saying America, the national anthem and all this old bullshit. We're talking about see from shine and see. That manifest destiny bullshit. And otherwise, justifying taking other people's shit. Where they at now? Trying to take people's shit over in Iran. Everywhere. I'm just saying, what I'm saying? No, that's the justification to go and take people's shit. Well, I'm saying, he's not talking about that kind of shit. Of course, we all know that, that whole Cold War thing, the West versus the East, the U.S. versus the USSR was just white folks fighting for power. We already know that shit. And like my brother said, I mean, both of them ideologies is just a bunch of goggling, just a bunch of bullshit. No, Marxism is bullshit, and this is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, it's just our people so gullible, man. We fall for all of this shit instead of going back to our own thing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going back to our traditions and what we need to do, and using our principles, our philosophies and stuff. It gotta be either Western democracy or it gotta be Marxism and socialism and all this stuff here. You know what I'm saying? Well, what the fuck we was doing before all of that bullshit came around? You know what I'm saying? We had successful civilizations and cultures and science and nations and shit. I mean, what were we doing before then? I mean, it's just if you listen long, you get indoctrinated, you like he said, 20 years, whatever. Okay, now we did indoctrinated and took your brain. You know what I'm saying? It got you thinking the same thing. It was Dr. Bobby Wright who had said, when you talking about what Mark said, with Dr. Wright, he was having a conversation with Fred Hampton. It was some of the brothers in the Panther Party, and they were talking about socialism. And he was saying, well, you can't call yourself a Marxist. I mean, a Marxist, if you, because Marx called us, black people, he referred us as what they call the lumpen proletariat. He said that, and y'all, and the Panthers call us the lumpen proletariat. So how the hell you going to call yourself a Marxist and call us the lumpen proletariat? Because, see, Marx said that blacks are not part of the means of production. So that's what he was talking about, our irrelevancy in the whole economic system.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Well, he said it should be
eliminated. Yeah, I mean, I read that part too. I read he was talking about read about that too. Yeah, exactly, 100%. You're right, bro. You're right. But man, we get caught up in all this old this white folks ideological bullshit about Western democracy and 19th century Western liberalism and all this old bullshit, and it don't really get us nowhere, man. But yeah, that's all I really want to say about it. Not too much though, man. But yeah, I mean, RBG made a great point though.
Yeah, for sure, my brother. And so all right, I guess if y'all want to talk about it, because I talked about the Marxist thing too, like because I think that's a good topic, especially for the black people. But I think that comes with the love everybody doctrine, and you could tell people by the words that they use, and a lot of stuff is connected with each other, and a lot of times, people with that love everybody stuff also be like power to the people, but also would be like yo Marxist
Hey,
and
4K.
stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 4K. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
When
no,
you
for sure.
said
Go
that,
ahead.
when you said that, it triggered me. It made me think about something. I got into a conversation with a brother who's he's a socialist brother. He's with their organization they call the All African People Revolutionary Party. It's been around since the 60s. Our brother, the late ancestor Kwame Ture, he was a part of it. What I'm saying, a brother told me, we had a discussion. Me and this brother, we had a discussion, and they was talking about solidarity. It's when the Israelis was bombing their kinfolks, the Palestinians at first, in Gaza and all that. When they had that little thing there, when they was bombing Gaza, and brothers was just all over the place talking about solidarity with Palestine. Now at the same time, they got all this bullshit going on in the Congo. Now he was talking about the 40,000 or 200,000 Palestinian people who had died from Israeli bombs and the military attack. I say, brother, 7 to 9 million Congolese people done died. Brother looked at me and told me, well, right, yeah, man, I know, right, but right now we got to put right now we talk about international solidarity. You know what I'm saying? We got to all be behind the Palestinians. You know what I'm saying? I say, brother, how the hell I'm gonna be behind somebody else struggle when 7 to 9 million of my people done died? You know what I'm saying? When my people get exploited the hell out of in the Congo. Little bitty toddlers and children, little small children in mines digging cobalt with their hands and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Rivers and lakes and streams and shit getting polluted from this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because of
No
this
facts,
cell
my
phone that I
brother.
got on my hand.
That's what it is.
Uh-huh.
Ideological
Yeah.
subversion.
Yeah,
You
that's what
feel
I'm
me?
saying.
That's
How
why
the
I was like,
hell
not even, and that's the whole
yeah,
point of this. Like, right? It
yeah,
ain't even about Marxists and all that, because you can
yeah,
replace Marxists with what we call "quote unquote" the white supremacy, right? You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? That's what we would call our thing, because yes, they have 700 years of it, right? So he needed 15 years, and we've given them 700. He needed 2 or 3 years for destabilization. We've given them 700. Right. And that's the thing. They've understood that it is easier to enslave a child who has not known freedom than it is to enslave somebody who has known freedom. And the key is to attack the school system. You know what I'm saying? Just like when Steve Bannon and them got in there, they was like, yeah, we going for the school boards and make sure we get people on this, as far as the education system goes. You know what I'm saying? Then a few years later, y'all start talking about this DEI stuff. But then it trips me out, because I'm like, damn, when you read it, they be like, oh, black people was migrants. So do I even want black people learning that? They ain't teaching me about no damn Ida B. Wells, but you're mad that they're not teaching us black history. They're not teaching us Martin Luther King, but teach us that he got shot in the face after he said he wanted to hold a little white boy and girl hand. Not no disrespect to him, because we don't wish that somebody gets shot in the face. But I don't want to get shot in the face, so I'm not gonna say hold no Neanderthal little girl hand. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I'm gonna say run down the street and hope you don't get charged like the other brother did. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna say. But the thing is, we've been subverted ideologically. And if I was more palatable and I was like, oh yeah, well, 95% of them, there's some good ones. John Brown, of course. But then I realized, I read the history and I said, John Brown can't be real. They said Harriet Tubman ain't real. And then I was like, John Brown said something about Harriet Tubman. So either he was a liar or he wasn't real either. But then I was like, damn, black people defend John Brown, but they say Harriet Tubman ain't real. Because I looked at this and I was like, well, they have been subverted ideologically. And it may take Trump blowing everything up. He might be white Jesus, but I don't think he got what it takes. He's probably number 15 on the, like, how is he worse than George Washington? How is he worse than JFK? Like, tell me that, because y'all love JFK. So how is he worse than John Adams? These is all the president, Bill Clinton, all the presidents that I've heard black people defend, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to throw Barack Obama in there because maybe I should have voted for Barack Obama the first time, but I didn't. And I wouldn't have voted for him the second time, and I'm glad I didn't. But I should have did it the first time for the culture, you know what I'm saying? But, yo, my brother, I want to show you this. Sha'Carri Richardson, 'cause they be hating on the sister. And I'm a fan of her, you know what I'm saying? And she won, but they ain't got nothing to say now. But she won.
Sha'Carri Richardson has made history at the
Damn,
stall.
I can't hear y'all. I'm
Winning
sorry. I'm
famous
gonna have to
race
go out
off
again.
scratch. It's only the third time in the event's 144-year history a woman has won from the back of the pack. And Trent Neese was there.
It's far from her most famous victory, but winning the stall gift means the world to Sha'Carri Richardson.
I had a great time. Y'all fueled me. Y'all made this moment happen. So thank you.
Her partner and fellow sprinter, Christian Coleman, among the first to congratulate her. The 26-year-old from Texas storming home after starting from scratch. 13.15 seconds her time, and didn't she need all 120 meters to get over the line?
Sha'Carri's
No, she did it. Look at that. The only sister in the race dogging them Neanderthal bitches.
History was made here today at Central Park in stall with Sha'Carri Richardson.
All right, and why I celebrate this sister, the good sister, Sha'Carri Richardson, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to her, because black brothers would be like, oh, shut up and run. But guess what? This sister said, I'm black before I'm an athlete, you know what I'm saying? And when she was out there talking about black issues, guess they was coming at her, you know what I'm saying? She was like, no, I'm black.
Double down on it. I like that. So she told your ass, and she told your ass again.
She told you again, I'm black before anything. I'm black first, you know what I'm saying? I'm black before I'm an athlete, you know what I'm saying? And then when she won, when she beat those Jamaican sisters, Koku and Bawana, you know what I'm saying? When she beat them, she only talked to the black reporters, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta show this, my brother. Shouts out to this sister.
Cassidra Gratitude, I work for Citius Mag. This one is for Sha'Carri. But before I ask you the question, I feel like people have been drilling you with questions. So for a quick second, I want to be able to speak some life into you. I just want you to know that I'm so proud of you. I know I'm not really nobody to you, so it probably doesn't mean too much, but I'm just so proud of the way that you have handled yourself, the way you've grown over the years from LSU to now to be able to finally come out with a world championship medal. For everybody that's literally doubted you on social media, because I know they can get real ruthless, for all your competition that didn't believe in you, for the moments that you probably didn't even believe in yourself. I'm just glad that you finally came out here and do what you were destined to do, because girl, I truly believe you are anointed by God, because you have been through so much.
Praise Jesus.
On top, and it was your time, and he said it was your time. So I'm so happy for you. But to ask the question before they try to snatch this mic out my hand, you have done so much for this sport, and I can easily see you transcending past track and field, because your speed impacts a lot of people, but your personality and what you do and the life that you speak into other people, I feel like is going to go way much further than your speed, you know, in terms of like thinking about God and your destiny and stuff like that. So I just want to know for you, in what ways do you want to continue to transcend the sport and have an impact outside of, you know, just being fast and being the world champion?
I want to say, you as a black woman sitting here in this room, I appreciate you asking me the question and anointing, giving me that love right there, representing for us as always. But I will say, honestly,
As always.
I don't even know what to
More
say.
than a lot of you Negro, y'all love sport and NBA, and like y'all be like weed for Jerry Jones, and he would have spit on you if you tried to go to school and to his high school if you was trying to go. But yo, can y'all brothers hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, yo, shouts out to my good sister Sha'Carri Richardson. Brothers want to say, shut up and run.
Entertaining track meets I've ever ran in, not even just that, but the love, the true love and support for track and field.
It took out the famous foot race.
Oh yeah, and then the brother one too. Y'all want to talk about?
Who took out?
Is there a race a real thing? There you go.
And he's done it. It felt like a date with Dixon.
A 21-year-old medical student from Adelaide, not exactly sure when the win and the $40,000 prize will really sink in.
Maybe in a few hours I'll really realize I'm still buzzing a bit, but yeah, it will kind of sink in after I get some time to cool down.
Just to start some tribal wars. Y'all lucky American brother, a brother in America wasn't running against his brother from whatever country in Africa he's from.
30 years on from her famous store win, Kathy Freeman was keeping a close eye on proving, just like these sprinters, time really does fly. Install Trent Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. It said she was only the third woman to start from that position and win ever. So Sha'Carri Richardson the best ever. So, yo, what you say, my brother?
Yeah, 4K. I'm gonna tell you the irony is this right here. For me, okay. Let the NBA get mad if you want to. But every time I watch the Olympics, when I watch the Olympics now, I love Sha'Carri. I'm like you. I'm a huge fan of hers. Okay, when she racing, I'm for her. But I'm just saying, But for the most part, I always be like, if it's an African nation or a Caribbean nation, in the event, like it's Jamaica or it's Jamaica or Haiti or Barbados, and they going against America, or anybody, you know what? I always go for them. I'm telling the truth. I always I be for the Jamaican team. Because you know what I'm saying? Because what I'm saying, I'm just saying overall, besides her, I'm always for, because that's a black country, that's a black nation, this America, and I know one thing: they using us. No, they use us. Oh yeah, look at all the black athletes, and going out there and winning and holding up the American flag and talking about how great America. They use it to try to show how great, to promote how great America is. But we know this it's a motherfucking shithole for our people. You know what I'm saying? It's a shithole for our people. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm saying that it ain't nothing me against those brothers and sisters whatever, but it's just America. I can't pick up the red, right, and blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Jamaica is a British colony too, though. Now.
Yeah, well, they got flag independence anyway. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. I'm with you 100%.
They got land. They got land and something. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got shit. We still. Look here. I'm just showing you real quick. Hold up. Look, I'm just showing you. You see me? See, that's my flag back there.
Yeah.
That's my flag back there. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%, my brother. I'm just picking with you.
I can't never put my hand on my heart and honor that motherfucking piece of shit, shit ass flag. I can't never do that.
I feel you. But just for Koku and Buwana out there, Sha'Carri Richardson did just dust them Jamaican sisters though. But you see here, the brother was an African brother, and he dusted them white boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm supporting the brother here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what y'all got to understand.
That's a Nigerian brother. That's a Nigerian brother.
Yeah. So shouts out to that brother. And by the way, y'all, and just because Jesus had to go through 39 lashes, you know what I'm saying? I have to play this for y'all, you know what I'm saying?
If I could, I'd kill his ass again.
I sentence you to 500 lashes for
Has anybody saying that nonsense?
A black man.
500 lashes.
Stephen A. Smith, I sentence you to 4,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man.
He's about 39.
Chris Broussard, Rob Parker, I sentence you both to 2,500 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Michael Wilbon, you fat, bald-head, no-neck midget, I sentence you to 3,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp, you're the biggest and strongest of everybody on the list, so I'm going to have to sentence you for 10,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man and saying that no black woman can make you happy. 10,000 lashes for Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp. Who else we got on this list?
Now, there's a lot of brothers on the list now.
Are you totally against interracial relationships?
Oh, damn, my bad. Yo, there's a lot of people on that list now, so we ain't gonna go get dragged out into that. Y'all brothers want to say something before we wrap it up?
I don't know what I want to say, man. It's just it's just like, you know, stay grounded. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of technology out there, man. This shit's crazy. You just gotta remember your roots, remember your lessons, because this shit's crazy, man. All this, I mean, it's just a waste of friction. There's no just cause for a lot of this division, and a lot of it is the AI, man. The AI is some bogus shit. I'll come to conclusion. It's just a AI is just a and hear this term. It's just a topological device. It only exists to touch like the topic, the surface level of everything, and try to like frame, use as like little frames, like time lapsing of stuff. I mean, AI is that's the real thing I see a lot of going on today. That's used to destabilize, a lot of fake imagery, a lot of like fantastical stuff that keeps you ungrounded to the reality. So I think, you know, it's good that it's a tool, and I think it's being hyped up for the wrong reasons. Like we get the pictures and like, you know what I'm saying, some motherfucker talking to you, Siri talking to you, but they get, you know what I'm saying, like the heaviness of the data crunching. That's what the whole purpose of the data centers are. Like they asking us to pay for like for our own like informational enslavement and surveillance and all that. You know what I'm saying? The advertisement turns into the surveillance. That's how they run it on us. I mean, I'll be thinking about that. It's just topological. It's just like, it's, you know, when you think about the surface of a map, it's just like, that's all AI is. AI ain't really like, it has no aversiveness. It has no sense of like inspiration to like skip a step or anything like that. But so like they say, oh, it needs more information to train it. That's just a surveillance. It's just gathering information for the purpose of gathering information. And white supremacy's bench ain't that deep. It's not that deep. I mean, yeah, they got some heavy hitters, you know what I'm saying, but their bench is not that deep, man. I don't really worry about white supremacy too much. You know what I'm saying? White people is white people. I stay away from them, you know what I'm saying? Keep my arms distance, you know what I'm saying? I don't talk to white people. I really don't. But like, I don't really worry about white supremacy. They bench ain't that deep. It's just not that deep. I ain't really worried about that. I know, like, you got to keep your eye on the ball with them, but like once that top layer gets crunched off, man, that's it. I still believe in black people. I believe in Africa. I believe a lot of they shit dying out. Hold the line. That's what I'm going to do. Hold the line. Thank you, Forecast, and thank you, Anthony. Anthony, I want to say I'm glad I met you, because like I had shit in my head for the longest time, and like you studied a lot of the same shit that I have. So I appreciate you. Thank you, Anthony. I hope you have a lot of grace, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of serenity with you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, keep hope alive, my brother. Keep hope alive for sure.
Hey, yeah, hey, Forecast. I want to tell RBG before we get off about the AI thing. Okay, yeah, I'm with you, bro, 100%. What I'm saying, but I also think of this here. That's some technology and stuff that we need to grab a hold of and use for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You know how they might use that shit against us. We can get that shit and use it in our favor too. Because what I'm saying is this right here. I found this brother. It's a brother, and I think he's a Nigerian brother. He's from the continent. And he does some magnificent work. And he does it in a black historical complex, telling our stories and stuff, man. You know, about West African history, about Africa, and about diasporan history. It's about Africa and the diaspora, man. He got some good stuff. I got some videos, and I'm gonna send them to Forecast. If Forecast could get them to you, or next time I'll put them on the platform so we can see them sometime, man. So you can get up into it. What I'm saying, you know, sometimes, you know, things, you know, like I said, you know, that little biblical saying, get back in the Bible. No weapon formed against us. You know what I'm saying? Well, we sometimes can take that weapon and make that weapon work for us. You know what I'm saying? And
plowshares the swords. I know plowshares the swords.
Yeah, but we need to check it out. I mean, because this dude is a brother and it's a sister who got a site too, who she do the AI thing, and she do it to tell stories of our people, man, of African people in the diaspora, on the continent and here. You know, and using it as a teachable thing, because, you know, remember, our children are impressionable. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and like you said, when we see stuff like you was talking about the imagery. Now, you know, we could use that to show the truth, the imagery of our people. You know what I'm saying? Our imagery and our historical, our history, our story, of our people, our culture and everything. You know what I'm saying? We can use that to help teach them because that's something that grabs the young children's mind. And we use that and make it a teachable moment too. Also, so I'm just saying, let's throw that out there a little bit too. I mean, let's look at it. You know what I'm saying, RBG? Let's look at it. And see where some of this information, this technology, this stuff that we could use, we could grab for ourselves and do for ourselves. Because when you get to talk about technology, a lot of people think, a lot of our people, we sit up and say, man, well, that's that white folks shit. No, that's that other shit. Instead of saying, hey, look, we need to get in this motherfucker some kind of way and make, and get some of this shit for ourselves to help us out. You know what I'm saying? To help us, like teaching our children. They're already trying to take our history out of the books, you know what I'm saying, everywhere, or trying to revise history. So I just wanted to leave you with that right there, though, man. And man, it's always, man, I learn from you too, bro. We learn from teach each other, all of us, me, forecast, all of us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad I met you on these social media streets too, brother. You're a great brother, man.
All right, all facts. I agree with everything you just said right there, my brother. And I definitely second that, and all I can say is, in the words of Jesus, why have thou forsaken me? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But yeah, y'all brothers make good points. But at the end of the day, we do have to realize a lot of our people have been subverted, especially their ideologies, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, and Matron has a good point too, as far as like, you taking religion and all that stuff and using it. So, and like you said, taking technology and using it, and everything is there to be a tool or a weapon, as my brother MD2 would say. So, I definitely agree with that, And shouts out to y'all brothers for coming on here. Shouts out to RBG. Shouts out to my brother Anthony. Y'all shouts out to Matron. Y'all definitely subscribe to Matron and listen to her readings. Shouts out to Time to Work. Shouts out to Karma 804. You want to say something?
4K. Yeah, I wanted to ask RBG because I was looking at his picture, man. Is that I wanted to ask him? I've been wanting to ask him. Is that Richard D. Kane?
Yeah, Richard Harvey Kane. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I thought I was looking. I said, I'm like Richard D. Kane. Yeah, because I used to read about him and we read about him in school, man. And a little bit the little Black history they gave. But that's all I wanted to ask, man. I was just looking at that picture and I thought his face looked familiar.
Yep, that's him.
All right. I don't know if RBG talking. I don't know if I can hear him or not. I think he's going in and out. But all right, I'm about to wrap it up. It's been super long on here. So, these are gonna be my last words, y'all. So I'm gonna let this be the last words.
We got to have a holiday. He talked about love, about unification. He talked about love and dedication. He wanted to see peace across the nation. Call for an end to world starvation. Feel the heart, inspiration. He used the word
Oh yeah, man. Let's have at least one day where we have self-love and where we love each other and love ourselves, where we practice what we gotta practice and do what we gotta do. And we can call it a holiday if we want to, right? Celebrate Ida B. Wells Day and have her courage for that day to do anything that she would have did for that day. Or Malcolm X Day or Marcus Garvey Day or whatever day that you believe in, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.